Are you guys not able to hear me right now, or you can? Yeah, I know the stream is on, Sean, but I got Jezebeli saying, is the stream not on? Okay, so Da Vinci, you can hear me. Okay, so yeah, so welcome to the Jaffy stream. This is a stream I did a while ago, but I found that I really want to talk about games. I continue to do that with Gabbin Games, which will be the afternoon show, 3 to 4, give or take, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. That's not going anywhere at all. That's not getting less. But I do want to, from time to time, maybe every day, not every day, but a couple times a week, bring back the Jaffy stream, which is basically free chat, weird stories, war stories about the old video game days, politics, people calling in, just more of a sitting above core video games. So if you're here for video game talk, if it's interesting, I'll address it. But the core game show is called Gabbin Games, and we're going to try to see if the Jaffy stream can, come back stronger than before, because I think there's a lot of cool shit going on to talk about that's not just video games that I want to discuss and debate and blah, blah, blah. And speaking of, by the way, if you are interested in calling in and being part of the show, I will pick up. Hey. Oopsies. I don't even know who that is. Let me check. I don't even know. I don't even know who that was. Hang on, fellas. Hey, there you go. Wallace has been a member. Thank you, buddy. Diet Sodas for a month. He says P Turtle's the savior of gaming. He will school Colin in Last Stand Media. I think what he's talking about is the Last Stand Media Gabbin Games competition of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming up the 20th. It's a charity stream for a wonderful cause called Skill Up. And what they do is they raise money for veterans and that are gamers, and they'll send these guys or girls video game consoles. They'll send them out to shows like PAX. They'll send them out Comic-Con, just to, kind of after they come home from wherever they served, to kind of get them back in with fellow geeks and stuff, and kind of help their mental health and shit like that. So I love what they do, and that's where the money that we raise from that stream will be going. That'll be the 20th. Okay. But yeah, if you want to call in, I may have already put it up there. Let me put it up one more time, and I'll put it up from time to time. I wish they'd let me just keep it up. I don't know if I can pin it with this particular, at least maybe over on YouTube, I can pin it. Let me do that real quick. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube, it is now pinned to the top of the stream. So over in the chat box. Okay. Where did that comment go? I imagine this is coming in from Da Vinci's Demons. I imagine you're going to address the hypnotic stream. I don't know why it popped my feed, but it looks like you entered a culture war zone. I don't care. I mean, what's funny? Somebody on the Discord today was like, this guy Asmongold, and I'm not going to act, well, I don't know who that is. I know who that is. I've heard of him. The first time I heard of him was like, he's a really successful streamer, but he doesn't clean at all, or doesn't have somebody come in to clean, and he has like roaches all around his stream setup. I'm like, what? I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. But anyway, they're like, oh, they're talking about this video you did on Dragon Age Veilguard, and I clicked it, and I wanted to talk to the guy, but it's really difficult to talk to that guy. I don't think he takes donations or chats or super chats or whatever. So I didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah, people have been talking about it, and that's fine. I wanted them to, I that's the other reason I'm doing this particular stream, because the Jaffy stream, because I need to make it clear, I am going to be diving in from time to time to the culture wars because I enjoy the battle. I'm very progressive. In fact, one would say I'm the most progressive guy and I like that. I like fighting the fight. I like being an ally to the folks that, not that they need me, but they got me. They're stuck with me because I believe in the good fight. And, so I'm okay with that, but that's not all I want to do. But I certainly want to address it. I want to be involved in it, so I'll talk to anybody for the most part. So this Hypnotic guy, what's the guy's name? Hypnotic. My issue with that guy is that he was simply just quoting back a bunch of things that, if you claim to care, a lot of these people who were sort of anti-woke, I really wish that term had not stuck because it's really disrespectful to what the term originally meant and where it came from, but whatever. If you are anti-woke, and you claim to care about kids, then you would think part of it is before you go off half-cocked talking about things you don't know, like what it means to have a trans child or have friends that are trans or whatever you explain, that you would find some people, if it's not you directly, that has that data before you start spewing talking points like this Hypnotic guy did or Hypno guy did. And I was like, I did leave him a comment on his video. If you don't know, he was kind of laying into my video about Dragon Age Veilguard. And I left him a comment. I said, hey, you should just call me because what you're saying really doesn't line up with certainly my experience, let alone the experience of a lot of other people that I've talked to. So, okay. Is that right, Darth Nugget? I single-handedly lost Kamala the vote, the elections. Fair. That's fair. Okay. Hypnotic says Nugget is a grifting moron from the clips and tweets I've seen. Yeah, I'd never heard of him until this happened, until his thing hit my feed. Why are you friends with people in Last Stand Media who actively vote to make your child's life as miserable as possible? Because my answer to that question is, Jezbelly, is there. It's not a direct line. I don't see it like a direct line. I don't see any value in seeing it like a direct line. Now, if you can draw me a direct line, and there is one, I will say you're right. Okay, so what I mean by that is, if I come up to you and you say I'm a Trump voter, and I say, why did you vote for Trump? And you say, oh, I don't like all the stuff that's happening. Our kids are being groomed by trans people and they're pedophile and all this stuff. And I say, okay, well, there's no data to back that up. In fact, there's a lot of data to back up people you probably feel you can trust are those people in terms of the abusers and whatnot at a much larger level. May we have that conversation, and they don't want to have that conversation and they remain steadfast in their view, then you are right. I would not be friends with people like that. But if you are talking to someone who votes for someone that is claiming all kinds of things, but it's hard to know until the fact what exactly. And I think Trump's going to do some awful things, but I don't know specifically what yet. Like I'm not gonna impale the guy, but metaphorically, because of Project 2025, for example, until he actually puts into place something, and it's like, okay, he's actually doing it. He can go fuck himself, right? Or if somebody said, I voted for Trump because as much as you want to protect your kids, I can't afford to buy my kids clothes to go to school. We're struggling for food money. And even though I think this person is misguided as it relates to Trump doing better for the economy, I understand that position of I would do anything to protect my son and my daughter, and I understand that view. So it's a little more shades of gray, Jezbelly, for me anyway. But then again, if you can draw a line and say, yes, but this person has made it very, very clear that they are voting for these people because they want Project 2025. They want LGBT folks. They want Jews, blacks, Muslims, whatever, to be, no longer part of the conversation. Then I'm like, yeah, they can go fuck themselves and they will no longer be friends. But I have not found that with Colin at all. That's just not who he is. 1 Minute Gamer says, I don't know how you do it, Jaffy. I see too many morons online and I automatically don't engage. I think what we see on the internet is not representative. It's representative of the real world sometimes, but it's certainly not always. But how do I do it? I just, part of it is it's fun. I was raised this way. I was talking to my brother before the stream came on, and I was like, oh, you should call in. But not just me and my brother, but, it was just our culture that we would debate, discuss, argue. It was fun. It was genuinely an engage. I like people who there's a great line in the show, The West Wing, where the chief of staff tells this woman who's a Republican and the president's a Democrat. It's like, why would he want me to work here? And the line, and again, I'm not comparing myself to the intelligence of that character, but he says the president likes smart people who disagree with him. I like smart people who agree and disagree. I'm just interested in things like this. And so, that's how I can do it, because it's fun. But there is a point where it needs to be compartmentalized, not just for my own mental health, but for the health of the channel and the health of the show. I want people to be able to show up here and know what they're getting. It's like when it's Gabbin and Games, it's games. And yes, sometimes culture war will spill into that, but if it's Jaffy stream, it's whatever, man, anything goes. But I get it, and the problem is with a lot of it is just people have a lot of wrong information. I was literally watching the Asmongold thing when he was watching I was watching him watching me. And now I'm talking about that. So you're watching me talking about me watching him watching me. And it was interesting because and I get it, he'd never seen the video. He's watching it for the first time in real time. And so I'll say something like, one part of the video I saw him watching was where I was asking, I want to say Morgan, because she doesn't like Dragon Age Veilguard that much. And I was like, okay, that's fair. But can you tell me, or can you educate me on a similar kind of game that you think isn't mediocre? Because she was saying, oh, I think it's mediocre. And immediately Asmongold pauses and he's like, well, Elden Ring. And he goes on for a minute or 30 seconds, whatever. Almost like, who is this guy who, Jesus, this is not hard. Elden Ring, and if you would stop watching his show there, the takeaway about me, if you didn't know me, would be, look at this idiot who thinks he can pontificate on video games. What does he know? And not only Asmongold had no idea until later in the show what my background was, but the very next sentence in the thing when he unpaused it was me going, of course, Elden Ring, but an Elden Ring, and I say in the video, is my favorite video game of all time. And then Asmongold's like, oh, okay. But as I'm saying, it's like people just take what they want to hear, or when they shut off the stream, and that's how it works. I mean, that's, you're gonna get into that, and people are gonna have misguided opinions about everything from political policy to what people think to, and then they just spread it. It's probably the same as it's always been. It's just that the difference now is it's not, the nosy neighbor peeking over the fence and, it spreads slowly. It's instant, Battle Lord. Battle Lord. See, this is what's funny about Battle Lord and people like Battle Lord. They are very safe calling in with text. There is literally a link, Battle Lord. Battle Lord clearly is not a fan of the trans folks. Has something to say. I think it's a woman, Bettel. Bettel, we will sue you, she says to me, for what you did to your own son. Which is delightful. I appreciate you not misgendering my son. But you can call in if you want, right? You're more than welcome to call in and actually talk to somebody, like a real face-to-face or at least virtual face-to-face conversation. We could do that. What about it, Bettel? You want to do it or no? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. And do you know why, Bettel? Do you know why, Bettel? because you probably don't know enough to match wits with me. You're probably incredibly ashamed of how you sound and how you look. You probably, or maybe not. Maybe you're a fucking brilliant person. Come educate me. I'm an open-minded fella, Bella. Betty. Can I call you Betty? Go for it. Jaffy, I love you, but you sound like the people Gene Park disguise. I didn't listen to the latest Moron. He says, Jaffy, I love you, but you sound like the people Gene Park, it's G, describes in his latest Sacred Symbols Plus. Can you educate me on that a little bit? I didn't listen to it yet, so I don't know what you mean. Solidus M says 10 days to go, 10 day to go, ugly man. I don't know what that means. Hi Jaffy, hi Green Name, says Twisted, good to see you guys. Ban him, he's been making threats at you to leave. Oh, shut up. Come at me, bitch. Seriously, what do I care? You want to go toe to toe? Look, I've gone toe to toe with Crazy. Trust me, Crazy got nothing on me, bitch. You don't create the shit I've created and you're normal, but you're welcome to try. But you know what I would prefer? Bettel, is you man or woman the fuck up and call in, and maybe we can actually have a meeting of the minds. Wouldn't that be something? If you could actually call in and go, you know what? I talked to this guy. I didn't like him at first because I'd gotten a number of weird things I had heard on the internet about him. But I talked to him and I still don't really agree with him. But, his heart's in the right place. He's just trying to get by like everybody else. Wouldn't that be something, Bettel? Wouldn't that be an early Christmas present for the both of us? I say you call in. Eric wants to hear my thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2. Here's what I'll tell you. I haven't played it yet. I bought it because I finally gave up the ghost that it was ever going. Yeah, that's not the way you use that phrase, but I gave up the hope that it was ever coming to GeForce now, which is my favorite way to play video games. And so I just said, fuck it, I'll pick it up on a Black Friday sale. It was $20. I got it on Steam. And so I haven't played it yet. I really want to make some time, probably after Indiana Jones, or as the Swedes call it, Indiana Jones, which comes out in 10 days. Thank you, Solidus, for that. I'm very excited for it. I don't know if it's going to be any good. But I know that's not true. That is absolutely horseshit. I know it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be great. But the fact of the matter is, already the cutscenes that I've seen are better than the movie Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, or Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. So, and listen to me. It literally takes place right after Raiders Lost Ark, my favorite movie of all time. Okay. And there is literally, I don't know if you are replaying at some point a flashback of the opening of Raiders where he goes into the Peruvian temple to get the fertility idol when the boulder chases him, if it's a cutscene or whatever, but it's clear they have built that level or built chunks of that level, not just what they've shown in like the boulder. We know that's coming, but there's like art on the wall that's exactly the set design of that. Cause trust me, I've seen that movie probably 1,000 times. So I am excited, but I want to finish Indy. I want to kind of wrap up some of the games that I've been in my backlog. And then I want to settle in and say, all I'm playing for at least a week is Red Dead to see if I can fall in love with it, because everybody tells me I will, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Does anyone have a link to the Asmon video? Nick Wiley, it's not a video, at least not yet. It's just, he was doing a stream today and somebody on Discord said, hey, Asmongold is going in on Jaffy, and I'm like, okay, I know who Asmongold is. He's a pretty big dude. What's going on? And he was streaming on Twitch, I guess. You're crazy will out crazy most people's crazy, says Nugget, who aren't like out of control psychopaths. Well, Psycho is not Psycho. I think is just I don't think he's out of control. I think he's a good dude. I think he's just really excited, and he's very he doesn't, to his credit, by the way, he doesn't mask his autism, and he's out there doing his thing. I like the guy, but sometimes he'll call in and he's just like, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Black Friday traffic is stupid crazy, says Lutron. I was going to ask about that because usually you end up with a lot of Black Friday stories, internet, all over Twitter. Oh my God, look at the door busting, people breaking all that shit. But I haven't seen any of that. I assumed it was just all online now, but okay, good to know. Good to know. David, my wife cried at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a special game. Really excited for you to play it. Thank you, Fuzzy. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Don't say that. Jezbelly loves to block people. So much for open-mindedness. You know what? I gotta push back on that, Wallace. My good dear friend Wallace. Look, I block people. Okay? I block people a lot these days. It's not about open-mindedness. That's just a smokescreen. That's just kind of like, you won't let me shit in your mouth, and thus you're not open-minded. It's like, I'm open-minded, but that doesn't mean I have to give you space in my world to stand there and yell shit at me that I find offensive or stupid. And trust me, Jezebel's a wise individual. I assure you, she's probably tried to reach out. And if, or at this point, she, like me, is probably just like, okay, you're one of those idiots, you're done. I don't think that's not a sign of an open mind. That's a sign of a mind that says I need to sort of be healthy and not surround myself with horseshit. Hello, Yashinda. Good to see you, buddy. Jaffy, I'm a new fan here. You think God of War remaster? One of the rumors that's been floated is at the Game Awards, and I don't know if this is true. I don't think Sony would reveal it there, but they might. They revealed the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla last year at the Game Awards, is that they are going to reveal the Greek remaster or remake. I don't know what it is. I'd love to think it's a remake regarding like using the engine from Valhalla and Ragnarok and such. But they're going to announce that at Keighley show coming up on the 10th. Is it the 10th? So we'll see. We'll see. You look very nervous, Baldy? I don't know what are you talking to me because you think I'm bald? Or I don't know what you wrote. LS, that's disturbing because you don't write good. You look very nervo, but then it's apostrophe S, which it sounds like I look like someone named Nervo, like this is a possessive S. I look like that person's Baldy, like that's like his blanket, his little baby blanket is his Baldy, and I look like your friend Nervous's blanket. I don't know how to talk to you. Andrew Cannon says, would you give your take on the Avowed situation? There is no Avowed situation. I mean, it depends what you're talking about. Let me. I don't want to, make your question sound irrelevant. I know what you're talking about, but the fact that somewhere Grums, who wakes up every morning like a fucking pig sniffing around on the ground looking for fucking truffles, is like, what can I complain about today? The rent's coming due. Time to complain. What's on the internet? That there's some clip in Avowed where I don't even know if you're choosing pronouns or not. Not that it matters to me, but he's like, look, there's pronouns in Avowed. And he went off. And then Elon Musk saw the tweet. And then fuck you, Elon Musk. What up? I mean, look, my brain can compartmentalize Elon Musk. Okay. He may very well be a traitor to the United States. He's not a good human. And I don't think he's as smart as a lot of you guys give him credit for, but I think he's a really good investor with his money. And I think those investments are just crazy enough to change the world if they'll work. And some of them are, and that I give him props for. But anyway, Elon Musk has tweeted this out and it got traction, and then it pissed off one of the art directors and the community manager of the game Avowed. And all I can tell you is, fuck you. If you're the guys at Avowed and you're getting, pushback without any data. I mean, think about this for a minute. All right, let's just take this for a minute. You're Elon Musk. You are the richest man in the world. You have the ear of the president-elect coming in. According to the FBI, you have spoken with Putin about 8 times, private phone calls in the last year. And you are pushing back on a tweet from a guy who has been known to promote false documents regarding things like Mr. Matty Plays. And you are pushing back as the loudest voice on the forum that you own on a group of developers that are just trying to, not only just developers, but renowned, beloved developers who have made some of the best RPGs ever. And they're just trying to work. And you suddenly aim one of the world's biggest spotlights on them for what? Well, you don't really know, do you, Elon? Because you don't know how the pronouns are even presented in that game. You don't even understand what the context is. But the very nature of having pronouns, not that it would matter, by the way, not that it should matter, but just the very nature of seeing a pronoun from a guy who has doctored, or not doctored, but promoted false doctored documents in the past is enough for Elon to tweet it out to the entire world. So if I'm those guys, I think we should all, whether or not you agree politically or morally or whatever with pronouns or not, I think we should all kind of be on the side of Avowed and the developers, not because you agree with them, but because what kind of horse shit Mickey Mouse bully tactics is that Elon's doing? It's like, dude, shut up. Do you not have enough attention? You want to talk about crazy? Richest man in the world, buddy with the fucking incoming president, heads of these companies, and he's upset. I mean, what a mental fucked up human. And he's upset because what? Some video game that maybe he wasn't even going to play. Pronoun. You guys, you can hate the pronouns, but talk about bootlicking. Arguably one of the most powerful people on the planet, and you're siding with this guy for bullying a bunch of developers that have done nothing in their lives but made games that most people love. Some of the Fallout games. Hell, I loved what's the spy game they made that was released and nobody loved, but I thought it was really cool. The Omega Project or Alpha Protocol or whatever. Outer Worlds or Outer Wilds. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? So that's my take, Andrew. Thank you for the question. I let BioWare shit in my mouth, LOL, says Pixel Cat. Here's where you know you have adult children, by the way, is this. We're sitting around last night. My daughter's in town with her boyfriend. My son is here. My ex is over. And we're talking about, so Tech Protect, who's one of the members of the stream, he said something like, would you, I think it was some, would you do this for $1 million or something? I don't remember what it was. It was just whatever. It was like, hang on. Hey, Tony. He's still here. I'm going to ask him. They've gone to pick up some friends. They're not here. But anyway, so it's something like, hey, would you, give up the sensation of touch in your hands for $1 million? Oh, some one of those things for $1 million, And I got into the whole, hey, I'd suck off a hobo for $1 billion. And, it got into the discussion. And I'm like, well, and people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you don't have to enjoy it. You'd make $1 billion if it fucked with your mind. Like you could get therapy the rest of your life, the best therapist in the world, and you'd still have, a shit ton of money left over. And so the point is, I let BioWare shit in my mouth, says Pixel Cat Man. Why? Because I like their game? Is that why? Because I like the fucking video game? Oh no. Oh, my stars and garters. I like a video game that you don't like. Oh, what am I going to do, Walt? What are you talking about? It's a fun game. Dude says, Jaffy, don't let this platform of people get to you. They're always so tense and negative. Hope you're having a great holiday. I am. I'm having a great holiday. I hope you are as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me jump ahead in the chat a little bit. And by the way, if you want to call in, again, this is your big shot at the big time, boys, ladies, boys and ladies. There's the link in the chat. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm whatever. There's almost nothing I would do for $1 billion. You mean you wouldn't do, says Nick. I literally eat shit with a fork and knife. Bitch, I'd suck off a hobo. Come on, nobody can beat that. I'm not making fun of the unhoused Twisted Sith. Hell, you ever heard of Hobo Nickels? You know what a Hobo Nickel is? This is pretty amazing. Let me show you this real quick. Hobo Nickel. These are great. So Hobo coins, Hobo Nickels are back in the day when the hobos would ride the rails. I'll show you some pictures, as they say. They would take coins, usually nickels or pennies, and they would carve into them and change the art of them, right? So this is an actual honest to goodness Hobo nickel. Hang on. Hey, I'm streaming. Can I call you back? Hello? Hey, can you hear me? Hey, are you there? No, she can't hear me. Oh, well. But that's a Hobo nickel. Isn't that cool? And there's all kinds of cool shapes and everything. Hey, I'm streaming. Can I call you back? Yep. All right, bye. Hey. Anyway, so I'm not making fun of the hobos or anything like that. Come on now. All right. Sucking off a hobo sounds like the ending to a scrap Twisted Metal character. That's right. Jaffy, please remove the background. No, I don't think I will. I would not kill a baby. No. I would not kill a baby for that. No, God, I wouldn't kill a baby for anything. I mean, unless it was like a Hitler baby. Run off to the dead. What is the matter with you, Dr. Chad? Why? See, this is what really bothers me about this. Is, again, you can bother me. That's the goal. That's fine. But it's like, you guys are cowards. Get on the fuck. Let's have a conversation. Call me. I want to know why you tick and how you tick. I'm putting the link up there and everything. I'm not going to do that. Here's what he writes to me. He says, this is Dr. Chadwick. Dr. Chad Thundercock. Yeah, that's what your mom calls you only. Run off to dead blue sky and enjoy the echo chamber with all the other blue-haired, fat, balding neckbeards. Okay, well, why don't we run off to blue sky? I mean, I have Twitter. I haven't killed Twitter. Check it out. I'm still on Twitter. I get a lot out of Twitter. I don't even mean to pay for Twitter now, but I do. It offers me nothing. I don't make any money off it, but it helps get my notice out when I'm streaming to more people, because YouTube's thing doesn't always work. So I'm on Twitter. We'll look at Twitter if you like, but I will also tell you I'm also on Blue Sky. And I like Blue Sky. Blue Sky is very, very different. And it's not really what you describe. I don't know if you're really young, but when Twitter was taking off, you had a lot more people that, it wasn't so much a let's just fight. And if that's what Elon wanted to create, that after he acquired it, that's sort of what he's done. And that's fine. That's his, he bought it. As far as I know, he bought it legally. He's welcome to buy it. And he's turned it into what we used to call back in the day were these things on like BBSs, which predated the proper World Wide Web. So you'd call in like in war games on your phone, and there would be these message boards basically. And a lot of them had what they called war boards, which is where people just shit on everybody, And so that's what Twitter is now. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're into that, that's fine. And it's fun to go in there sometimes. But if you go back to Blue Sky right now, at least how it is at the moment, It's just more pleasant. It's like, hey, check out Donkey Kong Country Returns. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Look at this. This is the guy who makes Volgar, the Viking. Part 2 just came out, right? And look at this great Zelda collection this guy has, right? I mean, that's what I see. And a lot of it is because Discover, my understanding now, I'm going to get this wrong possibly. But my understanding is the business model of Blue Sky is it's more of a this is wrong, but it's something along the lines of, unlike there being a hierarchy like the board at Twitter, there's a number of people that can kind of plug in their communities, and they are separate from Blue Sky. They're just using they're sort of bolting onto the Blue Sky infrastructure. So you have a flat sort of hierarchy, right? So that when it says Discover, it's not sending me things to create engagement. It's literally going, this is stuff we really think he likes. And they're right. Look at this sweet potato pie road with the Mario. It brings a little chuckle to your soul and a smile to your heart. Kate Compton. I don't know who that is. Why do I follow her? What does she do? I don't know what she does. I think she's a software programmer. But you go over to Twitter, and again, I like Twitter, but let's go to my homepage on Twitter. There's good old Shoe. Not poor Shoe, but somebody's retiring, but I'm glad he's staying in games. Let's see. There's an ad. I don't know, maybe we won't see anything bad, although maybe it's gotten better. I've done a lot of pruning on Twitter though. So maybe we're good. There's fucking stupid Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump. We never had fake news until we had a fake. Yeah, it's just political. And you don't always want that. Hey, Auburn football, they're terrible. But so I don't know, maybe at least what I'm showing you right now is not so bad. But it seems much more aggressive and mean-spirited over there. But I do both, he says as he laughs. You do get what you follow. That's true. And I have done a much better job realizing that and going, allow me to block this person. But, did you take advantage of the Black Friday sale on the beer store? I don't drink beer. That's the thing. I've never liked it. I've never really liked it. So, most of the people are going to Blue Sky are artists leaving Twitter because of bans and Grok using their art to train off. Great. I don't care. Here's how normal people talk. It should be this. Jaffy, I don't like Twitter, or I don't like Blue Sky, but you like it. Okay. Shut up. Who cares? What kind of threat is Blue Sky to you? Who gives a shit? It almost sounds like, oh, Indiana Jones, I can't wait. And I'm on Twitter all the time. Fuck, look at me over here. Check me out, world. Check me out with my profile, with my 72,000 followers. I'm a superstar over here. I'm just saying, shut up. That's what I'm saying. Dr. Chad Thunder. Think about this, though. Do me a favor. Could one of the regulars on this stream please click the link in? Only because we have to talk more in a second. I just want to make sure that the goddamn thing's working, because usually I get a lot more calls, and I just want to make sure nothing's broken. 199, thank you, buddy, from Tony Sheets. He just says Jaffy. And my response to you, sir, right back is Jaffy. Thank you so much for that super chat and that support of the show. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it, Tony. Tony has done it again. I really don't like beer, Brad. I'm not a big alcohol guy. I like marijuana. I'll probably like mushrooms if I ever try them. I'll definitely like DMT. Scott Coppinger knows what's up. Here's what he says. The link you just pinned is for this live video. Oh, well, that must be the reason. Here you go. Well, I'm an old man. Shut up, you fuck. That should work for you. Thank you for letting me know that, Nicholas. Scott says, he says, look, man, I don't agree with Jaffe on almost anything politically, but I love the guy. And how can you not? This is what liberals used to be like. As a conservative, this is what conversation was. You goddamn right. I don't know where we all went so wrong. And I understand that part of it's being old and man, back in my day, I get it. But you got to admit, whatever side of the fucking aisle you fall on, come on, man. People are weird. People getting so mad at everybody. It's kind of annoying. Listen to this. Do you know, are you aware of the fact that there is a museum? Hey, let's see if this works here. All right. Here we got Psycho. What's up, Psycho?
Hey there. That was the Timothy the Monster you saw. That was just me just now. Hi there. I didn't know you were on Streamlabs. Sorry.
I don't care. Psycho, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you have fun?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Me and Paco were just discussing the worst case scenario plans for in the United States.
The worst case scenario plans in the United States are what? What are you worried about happening?
Oh, my mom's worried about being deported.
You are, or your mom is?
I'm worried about my mom being deported as well as my mother, but
why would your mom be deported?
Because she's naturalized and
she wasn't born in. You're saying she wasn't born in America?
Well, no, she wasn't born in America.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I would worry about it too. I think it's ridiculous. Yep. Hang on.
Yeah, but that's the worst.
Oh, say it again, Psycho. What happened?
Yeah, but the thing is, that's only the worst case scenario. It might not actually happen because
I hope it does not happen. That would be great if it doesn't. But it's starting to look like
you kind of interrupted me there. Let me finish. My brother.
Of course, I interrupted you. I have ADD.
I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, back on topic. My brother said that it financially and economically speaking, doing that kind of policy would just break America financially and economically because it would be suicidal in that department. And most corporations that they definitely are racist. They rely on those illegal immigrants, and it would be really stupid. Like, you would have to be the stupidest, most brain-dead motherfucker that has dementia right now to even do that. And here's the thing: back in the day, Trump used to actually be more chill. Like I saw a video of a younger self of him who has the same policies, but he was way less negative and malicious by the sounds of it. Like, was more calm.
Yeah,
I think it's because of his old age and dementia.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but what I will tell you is you're right about the economic aspect. Like, I know that he is going to put on a show of deporting people, whether or not it is at the level he claimed during the election. I don't know, because he's got people on his cabinet that are, he's claims to be pro-business. And so far, two of the things that people talk about the most are the tariffs and the deportations. Both of those are going to raise
I agree. The tariffs are not a good thing right now.
I wonder how much, that's why I was saying we'll see how much of it is bluster and how much of it is actual, this is going to happen. But all right, thank you, Psycho. I'm glad you had a Thanksgiving. It was good. No, wait. I got to move on. Give me some.
Okay.
You got 5 seconds.
Did you check out my channel yet, or did you not get the direct message?
I have not checked out your channel yet, but I will.
Okay.
In fact, maybe I'll check it off on this. Send me it again, and I'll put it up on the stream. This stream, we'll look at it briefly. Okay.
Oh, okay. Where do I send it?
Send it to the Discord. Send me a link to the Discord. All right. See you, buddy. There he goes. All right. So the phone is working if you want to call in and talk about the things you want to talk about, and whatever. Shut up. Ha ha! I said shut up to you. You're not talking. You can do that. We all know Pete Turtle wishes he had Psycho's charisma. I know. He thinks he does, but that's the fun part about it. Okay. Reading the chat. Sorry, fellas. Not paying illegal pennies would really be stupid. Hiring citizens who demand higher wages would be so stupid, says Pixel. I don't think you're getting the point. Now, I may be wrong on this point, but I don't think you're understanding the point at least I and Psycho were trying to make, Pixelated Catman, which is if you send back a bunch of illegals who are picking your fruit, not only is your fruit going to go up in the grocery store, but you're also going to probably get a lot of crops that don't get harvested at all, at least not at the level that we are used to, because you're not going to get an American citizen, for the most part, that's willing to do that work for that cost. It's not like Del Monte or whoever it is that pays the farmers to, I don't know what they fucking do. They make pineapples. I don't fucking know. Just apple people. Who makes apples? The apple people. It's not like they're going to go like, well, now all of these folks have left the country, and we were only paying 40 cents an hour. I don't know what it is, but 40 cents an hour to pick some apples. But now that Americans are going to be doing it, that's $18 an hour to pick our act. What are you talking about? So we're all going to get hit with it, assuming you like apples. How you like them apples? Remember? And he's like, here's what happened. He comes in and he's like, I'm all smart about economics. And then Goodwill Hunting is like, hey, you're just memorizing it. And you don't really, or I'm memorizing it, but you just don't know anything. And you'll be back here next year and you'll be like, hey, what about this economics? And then at the end, he gets the girl and he's like, how did you like those apples? But that's what I think, Pixel Catman. Okay. You say that you're as progressive as it gets, says Scotty Cop. I say I'm the most progressive guy you know. Are you for, as Kamala suggested, illegal immigrant sex changes in prison, or on the fly, I'm a girl now, so put me in the women's prison? Okay, well, let's take one at a time. The illegal immigrant thing is a much more, let's just stick with sex changes in prison, because that is enough of a hot button issue. When you throw the illegal immigration in there, and then you start talking about, well, what is it that we agree to or disagree to, regardless of sex changes that we do for illegals as it relates to healthcare? It's a massive can of worms on top of an already massive can of worms. So if we can, let's just stick for taxpayer sex changes in prison. Here's what I would say. If you are going to pay for any kind of mental health issue or any kind of medical issue to a prisoner, and more often than not, as it should be, it's state funded. I don't like private prisons. I think it's a ridiculous concept. Then yes, I would say if the person goes through the process, talking to therapists who are experts in this, blah, 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 and they say, yes, this is a person who is suffering from gender dysphoria, then yes, I would be all for it. The idea, because it is mentally crippling, and it's cruel and unusual punishment, which is against the law. If you have someone in a prison and you are able to give them treatment and you withhold treatment, at least that's my understanding of how the prison system works. So based on my understanding of how it works, which is we do treat people who are suffering, even if they're prisoners. Like Harvey Weinstein's in prison and he has very aggressive cancer and he's getting treated. He's still in prison. The whole on the fly, I'm a girl now, I think that's kind of that's one of those things, Scotty, that is kind of a probable lie. I haven't looked into it enough to know, but it kind of sounds like that quote Trump did, where he was talking in the debates about, oh, kids are going to school and coming home a different gender. It's like, no, they're really not. I mean, a kid may go to school and meet somebody, in the lunchroom, and the kid comes home to his mom and says, I just learned about, gender reassignment surgery from Betty. And now I want that. Okay, sure. And, I came home from school once and I was convinced that Michael Schwartz's dad had built a working replica of the Thing from the Fantastic Four, but whatever. But the idea, though, that if you are in prison or anywhere and you say, I'm a girl now, and you go into women's prison because it's just not happening. But if you are suffering from gender dysphoria, or maybe one day it will be more correct to just say, if you are a trans man, I don't know, there's a lot of debate, as there should be, over, that homosexuality used to be listed as a mental illness as well. Obviously it's not, and it is no longer. This may be the same trajectory. I don't know. Regardless, though, you would have to link me to some cases that aren't really weird edge cases of I'm in prison. Hey, I'm a girl. Oh shit, he's a girl. Let's put him in the women. Where is this happening? And then we'll see. You may be right. That would be weird to me, but that would be weird. Okay. Why are tariffs not a good thing, says Ghetto God. Hey, you can educate me on this. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll tell you my understanding of it. And you can tell me how I'm wrong on this. He says, why are tariffs not a good thing? Trump had 150 tariffs in his first term, and prices and inflation did not go up, and Biden kept most of them in place. Okay, that may be true. Let me tell you from my bubble, although I like to think I am well-read, let me tell you my view of how tariffs work. Okay, so Trump says, I'm going to put a tariff on this kind of, let's just say, cars coming in from Japan. Okay. I don't know the percentage, but let's just say a car is going to cost you right now on the lot $50K. And the tariffs go into place, and the people who buy the cars, that doesn't work because they have, well, it'll work. Yeah, it doesn't matter if Toyota has a lot and it's a Japanese lot. But okay, so in order for Toyota to bring those cars into America with the tariffs, instead of what was originally a $35,000 car to build, is now with the tariff, let's say it's a $42,000 car. That $50,000 sticker price is no longer $50,000. In order for them to make the same profit margin, it's got to go up to $58,000. And that applies to anything that has a tariff impacting it. Now, I understand the intention is to say, we're not going to buy anything but American because it's cheaper, and maybe eventually we'll start making better car. I mean, I don't know, but that's my understanding of how tariffs work. I am not an economist. I am at best a layperson on this that's only become semi-educated on it in the last month. So if I'm misunderstanding it, please let me know. But that's kind of how I thought it worked. Is it not? Is that not how it goes down? He said, do you like apples? Going back to Goodwill Hunting. The smart guy rolling his eyes said yes. Damon puts the number on the glass and says, I got a number. How do you like that? I know what he said. I saw it. I also saw the brilliant Louis C.K. bit. If you haven't seen, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but go look up Louis C.K. Goodwill Hunting, because boy, I'll tell you, that's a good bit of his, man. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to read. What are your thoughts on Veridark's recent video critiquing your views on Veilguard? I don't know. Should we watch it? Let's watch it. I'll watch it with you guys. I probably won't watch the whole thing because she's kind of boring, but you're boring. She got me back. Let's bring up good man Veridark. You hear what I did? Varadark? Varadark is her name? Varadark? I thought it was Veridark. No, it's Varadark. You're right. Here we go. David Jaffe. Oh, we got to watch this. Oh, it's 10 minutes. I'm not watching the whole thing. I have ADD, but we'll watch a little bit of it. Let me show you. Here we go. Let me know if the video is working. Here she is. She looks so put out too. Look at her. She's like, Veridark, how's things going? Meh. Okay. No worries, Vera. Not a problem, pal. All right. There we go. All right, so she says I am, what did she say about me? Where did she go? David Jaffe melts down over Veilguard's failure. All right, maybe I did. Let's find out.
Jaffe is salty. David Jaffe is salty that average people can take to social media and voice their opinions, and he is getting angry that companies may start actually listening to gamers after the multiple failures they've had over the years. And now, of course, he is blaming YouTube grifters for killing Dragon Age the Veilguard when it simply was a trash game.
Okay, so let me just make, before we let her go on this, allow me to make what I just want to I want to catch up with chat. Jaffy, did you watch Laura? I did watch Laura Fryer. I did. And I thought she had a good point. Absolutely. I don't think it's the main point, but it was a good point. Okay. So I want to be clear. I've made a video. I even made a follow-up video because I've talked about as I've been playing, and I'm not very far. I mean, I'm far that I can judge it enough, which is 23 hours in, but I think it's like a 40, 60 hour game. But yes, allow me to mansplain to her. Well, I'm not mansplaining other than she's talking about my opinion. So I think that kind of, gives me a pass. So anyway, though, my take on Dragon Age is that there are three things that really harmed it, right? Two of them I would put square in the lap of EA and the current BioWare. One of them is, and again, I am not a big Dragon Age guy. I've only played Inquisition and now Veilguard. I really liked Inquisition. I really like Veilguard. Okay. But my understanding is that Dragon Age Veilguard is tonally not only not what the Dragon Age fan base said they wanted or had made clear or indicated they wanted, but when it was originally announced, which I think was one of Keeley's award shows, the presentation was much of a darker Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones thing. So when it came out as what I would think is a fair statement, kind of almost like a CW young adult fantasy novel, I think a lot of people were like, this is weird. This doesn't seem like Dragon Age that I love. Now, it has been explained to me that Dragon Age Origins, which I haven't played, and Dragon Age 2 are different from each other, and 2 is different from Inquisition. And so I assumed it was like a Twisted Metal Black, Twisted Metal 2 thing, where it's like, oh, we went with Twisted Metal 2 and it was all goofy and comic booky, and then Black was much more inspired by movies like Seven and Jacob's Ladder. I just assumed, but apparently that's not the case. Dragon Age fans didn't like that. Fair. The writing is aspects of the writing when it comes to the tonality, I think are terrible in Dragon Age. I certainly think the push-up barf scene is terrible. I haven't even gotten to it yet. I just got that character into my party, so I don't know if everybody sees that scene or do you have to make certain choices. But yeah, it's there's some really bad writing in the game as it relates, especially to kind of tonality and just being kind of like, weird, just like a young adult fantasy novel. I do like some of the writing in regards to some of the characters are cool. There's this real cool kind of, again, I don't know the lore that well, but he's like a necromancer watcher guy and he talks to dead bodies and he's really neat and they're really cool places to explore. And I love the idea of like elven gods, old gods coming back to rip the veil in the sky apart and bring evil creatures down. And, there's this one character from the earlier games that they thought was a really big bad guy who now somehow has gotten lodged in the consciousness of the main character. So it's like he has this voice in his head, but the only way he can talk to him is to meditate, and they meet kind of on this astral mental plane. There's some cool stuff about it. I'm sorry, it's not shit. And that really is most of my issues with people beating up on stuff like this, is that it's like, are you incapable of more nuanced conversation about a medium that we claim to all love? It's not shit. There's, I think the movie Van Helsing with Kate Beckinsale and Hugh Jackman is a terrible movie. And if somebody said, should I watch it? I'd say, well, it depends. But it's not just a piece of shit. It's got a real problem with the narrative. It's boring, but boy, it's cool though to see at least what at the time was modern effects of monster hunting. So it's just part of my biggest issue is when I say these grifters, if you want to go online and say, I'm playing Dragon Age, and some people do this, and that's great. And here are some things that I don't like about it, or any game, or anything. That's fantastic. There's a lot of things I don't like, but yes, I will call you a grifter. And my definition of grifter, I think, is correct. If it's the wrong term, educate me. Let me know what term I'm looking for. But is someone who lies in order to make money, basically. And if you are sitting there and you don't really have a lot of nuanced thought about a game that runs for 40 hours,
Ludo 57 joined,
parroting a bunch of shit, I would say that you're grifting. So for me, I take issue with that, right? All right. So that's my take on it. So now, without me having to stop her every 5 seconds, that's my take on this game. Let's see what she says about my take.
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, David is somebody who's taken to social media a lot over the past few years to voice how unhappy he is with the fact that gamers' voices matter. And now that...
Okay, let's take that statement. Let's just take the statement. Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
YouTube memberships. Now, David is somebody who's taken to social media a lot over the past few years to voice how unhappy he is with the fact that gamers' voices matter.
Okay, so does anyone want to offer, ideally she would, she's making the video, would anyone like to offer proof that I have taken to social media a lot over the last few years to voice issue with the fact that gamers' voices matter? What? I don't care. I don't care what I like. The capitalist aspect of video games. If you, and hell, I had the guy that made this game that didn't do well, an indie game called Bzzzt, right? And I interviewed him. Great guy, great game. And he was talking about how we were both talking about it's a great game, but it didn't sell because he didn't appeal to what at a instant read level gamers wanted. Of course, gamers' voices matter. Why would I have a problem with that? My last game, Vara Dark, was a failure because I failed to read the room correctly. And even though I'm very proud of it and thought it was great, yeah, sure. Of course, gamers' voices matter. But again, I don't even care. I'm not going to try to debate that. I would very much like her to back that up, right? Where is that evidence? Like if you were watching a real journalist, not that she claims to be, she would say, David Jaffe is a guy who's taken to YouTube or social media a lot in the last couple of years and making it clear just how little or how much it bothers him that gamers' voices matter. For example, did you see this when he said this? Or we can't forget when he said this. Well, you're not going to believe that the old man is doubling down. Here's what he said today on his latest video about Dragon Age Veilguard. That's what you do. That's how you get it done, Vara Dark. But sure, go ahead and just toss out slop without any desire to back it up with facts. Let's continue. Oh, sorry. Let me make sure you can understand it, Vara. Now let's continue.
And now that, of course, we've seen failure after failure like Concord, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Dustborn, The Veilguard, it's just infuriating him to an unbelievable degree. And now he's actually going on to blame YouTube grifters for killing this title.
Today in the news, YouTube grifters were found under a bridge. Were they dead? No, they were sucking off a hobo. What? Dustborn, I do want to play Dustborn, but I think Dustborn is, I think it's going to be interesting to play. I think it's obnoxious as fuck in a lot of ways. I think there are games out there that are made. Someone coined this term. It wasn't me, but I think it was very well articulated that are aggressively against the male gaze. I have nothing wrong with the male gaze as long as it's sort of in its right place and time, which is why people mischaracterize me all the time and say, Jaffy, if you made God of War today, you'd never have any sex and tits in it. I'm like, no, I would. Heavy Metal Magazine is relaunching. You want to put sci-fi, fantasy, tits, violence, gore? Sign me up. Sign me up, Veridark. You don't know a goddamn thing about me, but I can tell you that I would be there in a heartbeat. I'm not opposed to that stuff. But Dustborn and Concord both felt aggressively anti-male gaze. Like, we don't want, and I get it, women get objectified. Everybody does these days. And there's got to be some kind of way to balance the fact that people like looking at pretty people, which I think is fine and healthy. And at the same time, can we somehow find a way to do that, but also acknowledge the fact that there are power dynamics and there are cultural dynamics that make life hard for people because of that objectification. I think there needs to be a balance. It's nuance, Veridark. That's not something we know about here at the Veridark household. But today in other news, all right, let's keep going.
So in a video uploaded to his YouTube channel, which he appears to have clipped from a live stream, Jaffy answered a viewer question about the gaming community ruining the game, which is so ridiculous. Now, I do think it's important to add context here. He's made a video about me in the past, which I couldn't help but laugh at because of how ridiculous he sounded. He made this video because
I sound ridiculous. You sound like somebody who got caught in a you sound like somebody that was pulled out of a 1940s movie that was told by Louis B. Mayer to do the transatlantic accent because that's how people talk in the movies, and somehow you can't break out of the time loop. I think it's ridiculous the way David Jaffe made this thing, but I'm very dark reporting.
I said Alyssa Mercante making jokes about the Trump attempted assassination wasn't funny, and how David here said that he thought it was kind of suspicious and it might have been staged, and that wasn't cool. But he whipped out a book about the WWE and Vince McMahon and said, oh, there's a lot of information about Trump in here and how he's good at understanding an audience and entertaining a crowd. But that's literally anyone in life, let's be honest. When you go to a job interview, you're trying to convince someone to hire you. When you go to try to get a loan, or you're in the real world debating someone, you're trying to convince them of your stance or qualities and trustworthiness, and every single political candidate is just trying to convince you to vote for them. Trump is just extremely good at it, but at the end of the day, every single politician is like this, but instead, he decides to single out Trump, which is just absurd.
There's a book, I had the author on my show, called it's called Ringmaster, I think. It's a great book. And there is an entire chapter about the relationship between sex creep offenders, some of the shit he's alleged to have done, Vince McMahon and Donald Trump. This is not me pulling out. I mean, Veridark, look, however much you love Veridark and you love this side of the aisle, that's cool. Okay, but hang on. Okay. Look. As much as you've got to do the research, lady. I didn't just pull out a book on the WWF. Like, this is about this is about how Vince McMahon and his tactics of entertainment and manipulating an audience has now been, in the opinion of the author, osmosified, I know, into the White House and into specifically Donald Trump. Him and Vince McMahon have a close relationship. They talk a lot. He's been on the show, and he breaks it down into how Vince McMahon's tactics of building up an audience and staging things and doing kayfabe, which again, look into it, is being, according to the author, replicated as Trump was the president, ran for president again. It's just read a little bit. Right? I didn't just pull out some rando book on the WWE. I pulled out a book about the fucking thing I was speaking about. And do I think Trump's assassination was staged? I don't know. But I'll make a deal with you. If you think that's beyond the pale and hard to believe, I don't know, then, you know, you guys talking about, hell, going back to Barack Obama not being a citizen, or you guys talking about kids going to school and coming home a different sex. You really want to go toe to toe with which political party, Vara, offers up a trough of horse shit? Who's got the most horse shit? I mean, you're not educated enough. You're not bright enough, Vara, to talk to me or to talk about what I talk about. You're just not. You are not. And I'm going to fucking look. You are a somewhat attractive woman with a really great head of hair. That's why you have an audience. Your voice could literally get Putin to back out of the Ukraine. The Ukraine was a boy band from the 80s. Ukraine, right? You have about as much mental capacity as a spider that I killed in my shower this morning. It's the goddamn truth, Vara. I can call an attractive woman live dumb on the internet. I'm not saying she's dumb at all. She might be very smart. But the character she plays, called Vara Dark, is a fucking moron. Maybe that's not even fair. The character she plays, called Vara Dark, is not well researched, well read, or very articulate. Let's continue, my good friend Vara. Hey, come on the show. Maybe we'll be pals.
But he also said, oh, he's older than me, so he knows more about politics than I do, and that I should, quote, go fuck myself. So the one interaction...
Wait, you have an OnlyFans? Really?
I guess we'll call it, wasn't very great, but I'm one of the grifters he's calling out, even though his definition of a grifter is somebody sitting online, making videos, talking about a game, when he's literally doing the same exact thing. Now,
let's be clear. Is that my definition of a grifter? Where are you getting that, Vara Dark, from? Would it be great? Oh, that's terrible, all that juice. Look. Here's, again, Vara, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education here. Jaffy's definition of a grifter is literally sitting online talking about games. You don't believe me? Not a problem. Vara Dark here for you with all the facts. Check it out. Here's where he defined grifter 2 years ago. Didn't think we'd find this, did you, Jaffy? But I'm good at my job. And then I go into a clip where I say exactly what she said. I've never defined grifter as that. A grifter is somebody who makes money off people by lying to them. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Vara Dark. You just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. I swear to God, I want you to do me a favor, Vara Dark. I want you and I both to make a YouTube channel. We will not show our faces. We will not do our names. We will just talk about things for a month. Different YouTube channels. It won't hurt your algorithm. And let's see if you get more content clicks than I get. Let's see if you get longer watch views than I get. You are in that chair, Vara, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, the things that they've got. But let's be clear. You are, so far, my encounters with you online, you are kind of you're a mental lightweight, and that's fine. People have all kinds of, you know what I'm bad at, Vara? I'm bad at math, man. If I was in NASA and they were like, oh shit, the space station's gonna explode. Everybody, we can only solve this by looking at the blueprints and the math and the, geometry. I don't fucking know. Jaffy, get in here. Within 5 minutes, they'd be like, Jaffy, go get the coffee. It's not for you. That's okay. They're right.
I live stream most of the games I talk about. I did a full playthrough of Veilguard. I streamed Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I streamed Concord when it was up for the 2 weeks, right? I'm giving these games a chance. But if I'm bad, you're just as bad. He added, really at this point, if I'm bored with what I did, I'll do mine. making video. His definition of a grifter is somebody sitting online making videos talking about a game when he's literally doing the same exact thing. Now, I live stream.
Okay, I just want to be clear because her saying that I use that definition is not accurate, because now she's going on to saying I actually played the games and streamed them. I'm like, great. But if you played the games and then you were manipulating data you have in order to make money, you fit the definition of a grifter. That's all I'm saying.
Most of the games I talk about, I did a full playthrough of Veilguard.
All right, let me do something here, because I see the chat. Look, man, like I said, this is the Jaffy stream. It's not Gabbin Games. I'll get down in the mud with these people, but I'll give you an opportunity. If you're watching on YouTube and you want me to stop this part of the show and move on to a different topic, I respect that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a quick poll up. Okay. And you guys go over on YouTube and vote and tell me if we want to wrap up the Vera Dark thing and we want to move on to something else. I don't have to stay on this. We got tons of stuff to talk about. But it's going to be a poll, because vocal people sometimes will say, "Oh, no, remember, you're sick of this." And then it turns out people are like, "Jeffy, I was enjoying that." I don't fucking know. So you're going to help me out if you don't mind. I would really appreciate it. Here we go. Start a poll. Don't type it right now. Just wait for the poll to go up. Stay with the Vera Dark video. Hello, Torque. Good to see you, buddy. All right, that's it. Yes or no? I'll talk about a few things and we'll come back to it if you guys want to. If you guys want to stay with it, but the poll is now up over on the YouTube. Okay. In the meantime, let me get this super chat that came in, and then let me get a couple of really fast calls, and then we'll look at the thing. And don't, you know what? The idea of like going after her for her looks or whatever. I'm not, look, people call me ugly all the time. They call me bald all the time. And I am bald, and I am on my best day, an average looking guy on my best day. But if it's going to be on the table for everyone, it's going to be on the table for me. Part of her appeal is she's a relatively nice looking lady and her hair is awesome. Sorry. I'm not going to pretend that's not true. It's absolutely true. I'm not saying that's all she's got, but my encounters with her so far would suggest that's all she's got. Sorry, it's true. What do you want from me? For me, it's true. Of course, it's subjective. It's subjective. Am I negging her right now? No. Why? What? Come on now. No. I'm 53 years old. I don't do that. I was gifted, says Brandon. Thank you, buddy. A PS5 Pro. That's a nice gift. Bought some games on the Black Friday sale and also bought a PS Portal. Good for you, buddy. I hear I don't have either of those, but I hear people who have them love them. Great show, Jaffy. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate it. I will get to the poll results in a moment. I'm going to bring on Ludo real quick. Ludo, it's Jaffy. Where are you calling from? Where are you, buddy? We got a
yeah, I'm from France. Yeah.
All right. What's up? What do you want to talk about briefly?
Can any subject come in, or
yeah, it's the Jaffy. Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. Alex and I, we discovered something very interesting on the internet about the Guidestones from Georgia. You heard about it?
The what storms from Georgia?
No, the Guidestones from Georgia. Like the stels, like the inscriptions on the rocks, like the tablets of stone in Georgia. You heard about it?
Guidestones.
Yeah, Guidestones.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No.
So that's quote unquote 10 commandments that they wrote in tablets of stones. That's like the guidelines of the New World Order, quote unquote.
Okay, let me go look them up real quick. Let's see what you're talking about. The guides. My brother's watching the chat. He says, very cool, but likely not true. Guidestones, Georgia. So what is happening? The Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia from 1980 to 2022. It was 19 feet tall. The structure was referred to as American Stonehenge. The monument's creators believed that there was going to be an upcoming social nuke or economic calamity, and they wanted the monument to serve as a guide for humanity in the world that would exist after it. So you're telling me, and it makes sense, it tracks, it was the South. Someone basically was worried there would be a nuclear war, and so they built something out of stone that would survive nukes, right?
Well, that's what they say, but there is
Okay, so
also a
what's the
story about
controversy?
that.
What about it? What's new about it?
Well, I would say that I mean there are different views about it, but apparently also it can be a guideline from the quote unquote Illuminati's kind of
Okay.
speech, right? Yeah.
Okay,
And,
so why would it be from the Illuminati's? Was there something written on it that would suggest some sort of?
Yes, like
Okay.
the first commandment that says maintain humanity under 500 millions in perpetual balance with nature.
Yep. Guide reproduction wisely, unite humanity with a new language, rule passion and all things with tempered reason, protect people and nations with fair laws, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes, avoid petty laws, balance personal rights and social duties, prize truth, be not a cancer on the earth. So it's basically a useless group of, what a dumb thing. What a dumb fucking thing. Because the vast majority of these are subjective. Like, what does that mean? Avoid petty laws. Well, my petty law is certainly not going to be Vara Dark's petty law. Or prizing truth, beauty, and love. Well, to me, that might just be prizing Tommy Tallarico's Spider-Man comic book collection. For you, I mean, what a dumb fucking thing. But anyway, what about it?
Well, I find that weird that they, I mean, all these 10 commandments to be that important for the state. I mean, not just for the state of Georgia, but for the to write them on stone, tablets of stones in that place, right? Kind of weird.
Ludo, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know I value you as a member of our community and as a fellow human? Do you know I love you?
What about it?
Not romantically. I mean, like as a person sharing the earth together and the challenge of being alive. I have great affection for you. I love you as a fellow human. I appreciate you. Yeah. Those things are all true.
There's a bit that comes in, right?
There's a but those things are all true. And those things apply to everybody in this audience, by the way, everybody watching the show now or in the future. But you're out of your goddamn mind, Ludo. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about half the time when you call in. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is a dumb fucking, remember in the desert a while back when they were putting up the every now and then you could find these monoliths in the desert, and people were like, what is that? The Utah monolith. You remember this shit? These things that would just appear? And people were like,
oh, you have the question right now?
I'm just saying it's all bull. I mean, are you suggesting to me that this is the Guidestones are important? Are they real? Are they from aliens? Like what's the high concept?
I really don't know. Yeah, Nico right now.
You're what?
I'm hearing my Nico right now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's normal.
So
you asked me that's
okay, Ludo, I have to let you go. Do you know why?
No.
I'm just kidding. I love you calling in, Ludo. Thank you, buddy. Are you well? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? You looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas especially, yeah.
Yeah? Are you got a big Christmas celebration coming up? What are you going to do on Christmas Day?
Let me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
oh wait, you guys. Gotcha. All right, Ludo. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks, man. I understand the echo. I'm sorry. That was my fault. Ludo, I apologize, buddy. The point is the point on this is that, I don't know what Ludo was. He just asking me what I thought about the Guidestones? I think they're silly. I think they're stupid. I think they're goofy. I certainly don't think they come from any kind of Illuminati group. If there really is an Illuminati, my suggestion would be that they're going to be the ones maintaining humanity. They're not looking for us to do that. They want to build the underground bunkers and arcs and survive, is what I would say. All right, let's check the poll. Are we done with the Vara Dark thing? Let me go see. Look at that. 50-50. So, I guess I don't know. It says what was the question even? Let me see the question real quick. But Vara, look, I'm a nice guy, truth be told. Vara pisses me off because should we stay with the Vara Dark video? No. Okay, so we're not going to stay with it. But Pixel says, Jaffy, you're not enlightened. Listen to the Stones. Why isn't my brother calling in? He's there. He's watching. Click the link, Philip. Call in. The people demand seeing you. But look, I don't really have a problem with Vara Dark. I don't like being mean to people. I really don't. That's not my thing. But she's being mean to me. She's saying shit that's not true. And so I'm not really sure, like, what is a proper it's still the YouTube link. God damn it, Jaffy. What is a proper response to someone like this? I understand in the real world the proper response is to ignore them. But, isn't that part of the entertainment? Isn't that part of the fun? Isn't that part of why you watch? Right? Not video games. If you're here to talk video games, I respect that. But that's not what this stream is. That's why I started calling it the Jaffy stream. But if you're here just to kind of shoot the shit and talk about what's happening on the internet and in the world, sure, I could be like, take the high ground, but who wants to watch that? Remember when Oprah Winfrey started her network? You guys are like, no, Jaffy, we don't watch Oprah. Shut up. She starts her network, Oxygen. Oh, whatever the fuck it's called. And she's like, I'm going to do spiritual stuff. It's going to be really good and stuff. And I love Oprah. And I love some of her shows. She had a show on called the Masterclass. And Jay-Z was on it. The Rock was on it, talking about all their shit they had to put up with and how they grew and stuff. And, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool, but then she's like, nobody's watching that shit. So she started making soap opera shit, and the network, I guess, is, still going. So I don't know what to tell you. Jaffy, can you just do your frenemy teen drama with her? Sure. I mean, look, if she called in, I would probably do my very best to have a meeting of the minds with the woman and say, look, it's entertainment. It's theater. We're just fucking around, but let's be perfectly honest. Let's talk about Dragon Age, or let's talk about you saying things about what I said, and let's see if we can, find a real, come to Jesus moment. But let me bring in Torque Mod, and of course, I'm bend over. Don't go anywhere. Bend over. I want to bring you in and talk to you, but I got to talk to Torque Mod first. Torque Mod, you better be good. What's up, Torque Mod? How you doing? Let me get rid of the echo. Hang on. Boom, you're on. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out why it just took the audio from my headphones.
You look like a skinny Jeff Gertzman. You ever been told that?
Huh?
You look like a skinny Jeff Gertzman.
All right, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. I like Jeff. He's awesome.
Good. He's a good dude. Yeah. I don't think he likes me, but I like him. He's a good dude.
Oh. Well, why wouldn't he like you?
I just think I've been on shows with him. Like I was on Keely's show, the bonus round and stuff. And whenever I would watch those back, he would just be looking at me with what I took was disdain. But maybe that was just his face.
That's probably just in your head. Yeah. He's got to like you. You're freaking amazing. And you just speak your mind, and you're a good guy.
I am amazing.
You are.
I got a little note the other day that said, or yesterday that said, hey, Jaffy, in the top 20 things people went around the table yesterday and said what they were thankful for, I was in 80% of that top 20 across America.
Yeah, I believe it. You were in my thanks, even though I'm Canadian and we didn't celebrate.
That's what I'm saying. That's how good I am. What would you like to talk about, my good friend Torquemod?
There was a game that I played last weekend at my buddy's house, an indie game. I really think you should try it, but there's some sad caveats to it. One, it requires a controller. It literally has no keyboard and mouse support for a game on Steam. I don't know how that's possible. And then the second one is it's couch co-op, but you can do the remote play together. So you only need to buy a copy, and then you can bring your friends in for free. Okay. And they can play with you. But it's called Dirty Dirty Pirates. And it was just the most distilled, like, fun gameplay that I've had in a game in ages. And I immediately thought of you.
Hang on. I'm looking it up right now. Is it one of those things that if I put on stream, I'm going to get banned or something?
No.
Okay. Let me put the okay. I'm going to, let me pause it, and I'm going to mute you so we don't get an echo, and we'll talk about it after we watch it. It's like a 50-second trailer. So, okay. And Ludo, by the way, I see Ludo down there saying, there's no point in discussion if the listener has no interest in listening. I'm interested. I don't understand what you're saying, Ludo. It's not that I'm seriously, and you've been part of Lunch with Jaffy. You've been at the movie night. You have a very thick accent. And what I have said to you is that is not something to be mocked. Realistically, people who speak more than one language are a hell of a lot smarter than I am. And you speak, if I remember, 3 or 4. But when you call in and I don't really know what you're saying, and then I have a ticker at the top that shows the audience drop off, because not that they don't like you, but because it's like they're tuning in to a fucking Francois Truffaut film. It's like they don't know what's happening. And that's why I just kind of like, I got to get them off the stream, because I'm losing viewers because we don't understand you. It's not personal. I just don't know what you were asking about. That's all. I love you, Ludo. All right, here's the trailer. This is called Dirty Dirty Pirates, those filthy fucking assholes. I added those filthy fucking assholes. That was me. That was my contribution. Here we go.
Finding yourself in these situations makes a pirate reflect. I pillaged fast and plundered hard, and fought so dirty.
Oh my God. Awesome.
But now I'm here, flying through the air like a majestic eagle, with a trident stabbing through my dum-dum full of rum-rum. I am a dirty, dirty pirate.
Okay, so, one moment. Let me hide this. Okay. So is it like Gang Beast, basically?
No, not at all. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That trailer is shit. It totally doesn't sell the game. I just played it because my buddy already owned it, and we sat down to do some couch co-op. So it's a completely top-down isometric view, and the gimmick is all the edges of the screen wrap around. So, like, you know, in Portal, where you can run
or whatever,
the other side. Yeah. And the weapons, you can throw them and they'll actually wrap around, and they'll keep going like infinitely, but they also have like this magnetic ability. So if they happen to go near you, they'll kind of heat sink a little bit towards you.
It kind of sounds a little bit like Towerfall, but more of a top-down physics-based ragdoll.
Yeah, I don't know. I never played Towerfall.
It looks awesome. So let me ask you, though. So if I were to get this, it's got to be local, or it's got to be Steam Remote Play. There's no online.
Correct. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. I messaged them on their channel on Steam, and I was like, guys, you need to add like server browser, and you need to add keyboard and mouse. Like it's 5 minutes to add keyboard and mouse to any game. So I mean,
the server browser stuff has gotten a lot easier, but it still ups a lot of the endeavor. What I wonder, hey baby, what's up? What I wonder is, though, you know, I have, I'm streaming, but I can mute. You want me to mute? Okay. One sec. I'll be right back, Twerk.
Yep.
So remote play I haven't tried, and I've heard a lot of people say that it's quite good, depending on, you know, and what I worry about is if I'm the host of the remote play, I'm going to have an advantage. But there's also one of our God of War members has a remote play game called Swap Fire, which is really, really cool, and it's heavy into remote play. So maybe what I'll do is on this break, I'll do like a remote play night, and I'll make that and this one of the games and just see how it goes, because this does look like a great deal of fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like I'm telling you, that trailer does not sell it. It is so much more entertaining. It's really hilarious. They got 3 different game modes. One of them is like there's a plague, and it's like this blob that kind of chases a player around if you get too close, and you have to avoid it. And then it infects you, and then you have to knock players down and like mount them and beat them up to give them the plague. And there's deathmatch.
Well, maybe when we stream it, you can call in and you can kind of walk us through it as we play it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to do the remote play with you too.
Sometime. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pixel Cat says simple fun like Nidhogg. Have you played Nidhogg or Nidhogg 2?
I haven't. I know of the games. There's so many indie games that I know of, but I haven't played. So.
Nidhogg is a fucking blast to play, and Towerfall is one of the best couch co-op games I've ever played in my fucking life. But all right, Twerk. Well, thank you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you live.
Yeah,
I appreciate you calling in. Talk to you later, bud. All right.
Have a good one.
You too, sir. There he goes, fellas. But yeah, I felt bad. I wasn't trying to shut you down, Ludo. I just really didn't know what you were talking about, man. So I hope you maybe, you know, take that as it's meant. It wasn't meant to be mean. Okay, back on topic. I guess there's no topics. Are you not worried about crazy men taking advantage of the trans situation and saying they're a woman to enter a woman's locker room? So, well, look, here's what I'll tell you. I mean, I want you to think about what you're really saying for a moment, Scotty. So if you're a man and think about this. If you are a man and you are of the ilk that you would sneak into a woman's locker room to, I guess, rape someone or be a peeping Tom on someone. I mean, I don't know, do you really think that they're walking around going, I got to tell you, I thank God these trans laws came about because I'm a rapist and I'm a creep, but it's against the law. But now that I can dress up like a woman and go into a woman's bathroom, it's on. What? I mean, the scenario you have to paint, right? Like Zero Signal says, nothing is stopping men from doing that before any of this came up, right? And again, I think also that if you've got a if you're, even though I don't agree with you in any way, shape, or form, not you, Scott, but if you're like a hardcore Orthodox Jew or a hardcore evangelical Christian, or you really walk the walk of like women and men shouldn't sit together. Like unless it's changed, Orthodox Judaism, the men and the women are separated by an aisle when they go to temple because they're not supposed to be together unless they're married. And even if they're married, I don't know. Or evangelical Christians, it's like, look, the Bible we take literally. It says if you abort a baby or whatever, this, other than that, the idea of, I lost my train of thought because I started thinking about this girl named Chaya that I went to school. It doesn't matter. Let me get back to my train of thought. Entering a woman's bathroom. Train of thought. Come on, Jaffy, shut up. Hang on. Oh, I got it. Sorry. So the argument would hold more weight for me if everything that you did in your life was built around, hey, the person who's saying this, they take, the sanctity of life, for example, really literally and clearly, and it's important, fine. Or they take kids being protected, really, it's important. But there's so many contradictory things that these people do. It's like, okay, let me get this straight. You're really worried about women being safe, which is a great thing to worry about, or kids being safe, which is a great thing to worry about. But so many laws have been proposed or candidates have been rejected that would allow safer spaces and things. But those people are really, really quiet. Unless they are, like I said, Orthodox Jews or evangelical Christians. It's like you really care about kids, but you only care about them when they're in the womb, not when they're born, because you don't seem to want to fund any programs for any kids that will give them a really good shot at a good life. Or you really say you care about women's health, but you don't want to, you only want to teach abstinence in sex education classes, right? Or you really care about kids not being abused, but you're going after this very small percentage of people who are such a small percent to begin with, that the amount of abuse that they put into the world is barely trackable. And yet you've got tons of organizations you can point to and say, over the millennia, but certainly over the last 20 years, we have tens of thousands of cases. Well, why aren't those being if you really care about these people, why isn't that your number one target? And my answer is, and that's why the argument doesn't hold a lot of water, because it doesn't hold a lot of water because it's like, okay, it starts to feel more like you're just transphobic. Because if you were really into protecting kids and women's spaces, it's the equivalent of saying, I want to stop nukes. And instead of kind of trying to figure out how you can de-escalate or reduce the amount of nukes we have in the world, you're like, hey, somebody may watch the movie Oppenheimer and get the idea to go into creating the next bomb because they want to, it's just such a rare thing that occurs, but that's getting all your attention. That's why it feels like it's easy to look at it and go, I don't know if I should I don't know where these people are coming from, but it doesn't seem like they're coming from a place that's really pure and clean when it comes to their motivations, is what I would say. Ludo says, I was just interested in knowing about the Guidestones, but it still was not a reason to say you're out of your God. Oh my God, Ludo, I'm just playing with you guys. All need to know. He says, I said you're out of your goddamn fucking mind, triggered him. Guys, it's not that I play a character when I do this show. I'm still me. I'm a very honest broker, as the kids say. Can you imagine what kids would go around? Hey, you want to play Pokemon Go? No, you're not an honest broker. What? But I'm a very honest guy, Ludo. It's still me, but I don't really think you're out of your goddamn mind. I think you're very smart to speak multiple languages. You think about a lot of things. I got nothing but love for you. But let's just be clear. It's just we're having fun. We're shooting the shit. We're taking the piss, as the kids say. You want to play Pokemon Go? No, I'm taking the piss. Anyway, I don't agree with this. Twisted Sith says 3 bathroom options, 1 for men, 1 for women, 1 for, then I guess you would have trans men and trans women. So 4 bathroom options. Simple. Problem? Yeah, it's 2 problems. Number 1 is not really a problem because it's a horrible idea. There's a bigger problem, but there is a cost involved. You're going to start telling all the shops they got to have 4 bathrooms now, but let's move beyond that, which really shouldn't be a problem morally, but I'm sure it would be. The real problem is, sure, and then someone's going to say, yeah, let's have bathrooms for the black folks and the white folks and drinking fountains for the black folks and the white. We've been down this road. It doesn't end well, and it's dumb. The solution is shut up. We already have laws against sexual assault. If somebody comes into a bathroom and they're a creep, guess what? They're going to be in the bathroom anyway. Like I said, it wasn't like the law. I mean, think about that. A guy is going to assault someone but he's not going to do it because there's a law against going into a woman's bathroom. If you're going to assault somebody, the bathroom door that has the woman icon on it ain't going to fix anything. It's not going to stop you. It's not going to stop you. Also, let's be clear. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Don't say it, Jaffy. I should probably say it. Okay. Jaffy creates an imaginary person and copy paste it over everyone who disagrees with him in one of those issues. What? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. Philip, you want to call in? My brother's wicked smart. Smarter than I am. Really smart. I don't agree with everything, but he's really smart. It's kind of gross. Okay. Your identity is not sexual. It's what you do to better society. Says you. You can't tell people what their identity is. No one cares about what you think you may or may not be. A lot of people clearly do. A lot of people clearly do. Twisted Sith says skin color is not the same as sharing private space involving exposing genitals. You're just simply wrong. Go look up why. What do you mean you don't know how to call in? Again, I just praise my brother saying he's very smart. I don't know how to call in. Click this. What are you talking about? Look, I'm putting it in the chat. Just click it and it'll take care of you. Go look up why blacks and whites were supposed to be segregated. Like what the logic was that they gave to basically just hide the fact that they were simply racist. The men didn't feel safe if their wife or girlfriend was sitting next to a black man. Okay. That was one of the reasons. Or it would bring about the lack of morality would come into society if you sat next to somebody of a different color. I assure you, the reasoning, they were just as afraid that, our women are going to be harmed if a black person can use the restroom or a black person can sit. We're not beyond that. It's not a different conversation. Scotty Coppinger says we're beyond that. This is a different conversation. Ain't the 50s anymore. Yes, not for black people, but it's worth pointing out that this is what we do. We take someone that makes us uncomfortable because we've been trained to feel uncomfortable because it's politically expedient to make those people the other. And then we spend decades treating them like shit and lesser, the people in power. And then eventually we go, what were we thinking? And then we go, let's do it again to a different group because it's not the same. It's exactly the same. Yes, I understand literally a black man and a black man with a dick in a girl's bathroom, not the same. Yes, it's not the same literally, but it is absolutely the same morally, ethically, legally. He says he's high. Good. That's even better. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I know many trans folks, says Ultra, and not even one of them ever spoke of being harassed and victims. This is fabricated. Really? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. My trans son may be back with a couple of his trans friends. Would you like to speak with them? My trans son would not go down to the shopping mall on Friday nights because it's where the kind of jock high school got out from school, and they would hang out at that shopping mall. And I'm like, why? I didn't know all the kids hung out there Friday night after the games. Why didn't you guys ever go? Oh, because we'd get bullied. I assure you, trans folks being harassed and victims being fabricated, that is, do you know, if you'd like to know, in fact, let's look it up together. I don't lie, but I will more than happily, in a lot of ways happily, but I will gladly allow myself to be educated by folks because I don't know a lot, right? So let's look this up. Let's look up what is the most harassed group of people in America. Now, my guess is it's going to be trans black women, but let's find out here. I'm not even going to hit Google yet. Let me Let me share the screen with you. Show on stream. There we go. I typed it up here. What is the most harassed group of people in America? Let's see what it spits out. Harassment of religious groups. That's not the answer, but we'll look at that. What is harassment? Online hate. I need like an actual, make it simple for me. Okay, let's do this. Let's use high tech. High tech. Come on, hang on. I'll be right with you guys. I hope you can hear this person. I think I need to share the screen. One moment. Let me share the audio. I think you'll be able to hear this, but let me make sure first. Share screen. Okay, and then share audio. So this should work. Okay. Hey, I have a question. Are you there?
Hey, yep, I'm here. What's your question?
All right, can you guys hear her? If you can, I'll ask her because it'll make it easier for my brain. Ravenos, this is not a game show. It's not a game. The game show is later. That's Gabbin Games. Okay, you can hear it because Philip says she sounds too happy. Okay. I'm talking to my stream right now, and we wanted to know what in America is the most victimized group in terms of like hate crimes, assault crimes, and whatnot, sexual assault crimes, any of that. Like, can you tell us what group in America would get that horrible distinction?
When it comes to hate crimes in the United States, the group most frequently targeted has been Black or African American individuals, according to FBI hate crime statistics. In terms of assault crimes, including sexual assault, women are disproportionately affected, with a particularly high prevalence of sexual violence reported. It's important to note that these statistics can vary and are influenced by many factors, including reporting practices. Keep in mind this is a broad overview, and there are many new.
Okay, so I'd like you to be a little bit more nuanced and drill down. So if we say that women are the most sexually assaulted in America, are they Black women, trans women, Jewish women, Muslim women? What exactly can you kind of filter that statistic down a little bit?
Sexual violence impacts many groups, but some experience higher rates due to intersecting factors like race, gender identity, and socioeconomic status. For instance, research indicates that women of color, particularly Black and Indigenous women, face higher rates of sexual violence compared to white women. Transgender women, especially trans women of color, experience disproportionately high levels of sexual violence. Lesbian and bisexual women also report higher rates of sexual violence than heterosexual women. These disparities are influenced by various factors, including systemic discrimination, economic inequality, and social marginalization, which can affect both the prevalence of violence and access to support services.
Okay, so again, and I put up God of War's you keep my game out your fucking mouth in the chat. He says doesn't fit his narrative, so it's false. Are you talking about me? I wasn't saying she was wrong. I just wanted a little bit more. I wanted that statistic to be more minutia, more specific is what I was looking for. So again, you can disagree with her. I mean, I'm happy to push back, but why would I skip the topic, PK? Look, here's what I'll tell you. If you guys, here's what I wish. I really, really wish I could get this on YouTube. I wish I could have like like in vaudeville. What? Shut up, Jaffy, you old fuck. Shut up. I wish I could have like a cane and you guys could vote and pull a topic off. Because I don't want to talk about things that are boring to you, but I don't, if I have to put up a vote and say, are you bored? people, all I have is this little number at the top of the screen that goes up or goes down to tell me if people are staying on or off. I don't really have anything else to know, right? So I just kind of go, here I'll show you what I had lined up if you're curious. But this was all, I'll go wherever you guys want. That's what the show is. But there's a museum. Okay, how about this? Are you interested in this? Well, okay, but black people being mistreated more mistreated than trans people, but that's not true. Women are more mistreated, black women are more mistreated, and then trans black women are more mistreated. It's not okay. Okay. The point being, there's a museum of Purgatory. I'm serious. You can go. It's a couple miles from Rome. Here's how it was started. There was a deacon who was overseeing this church, part of the church, and it caught on fire. And after the fire was put out, there was a mark on the wall of a screaming face, and he got it in his mind that this was someone in purgatory, which, if you don't know, you die in certain religions and you don't go to hell or heaven. You're kind of in the between, in the underground, whatever. And you're being cleansed in the fires of purgatory. So it's still torture. But the idea, I guess, is afterwards they spit you out, you try again. I don't know. And anyway, so he says, you know what? I'm going to go around and I'm going to find evidence of people who have been visited by folks in purgatory. And I'm going to collect all of these relics and I'm going to make a museum out of them. And you can go see them. And I was going to show them to you guys. But again, I'm looking at my numbers. Nobody cares about this. You say you care. You say you want to hear weird stuff. I mean, the numbers drop because you want the drama. You want the theater. I understand. And I'll give you that from time to time. And I'll always give you the good stuff when it comes to Gabbin Games. But I mean, what do you want from me? You want me to sit here and do a fucking college dissertation on, what do you want? I just want you to be entertained. I want you to have some fun. Ultra awesome, you're wrong. And then black midget trans folks are more mistreated. Come on, man. Yes, they are. But what is the come on, man? Yes, the more that you take someone that is marginalized and the more you layer on another marginalization, you're going to see a larger proportion of abuse. That's correct. So what do you mean, come on, man? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. When somebody wrote in a minute ago and said, oh, trans people aren't being harassed, that's just bullshit. I'm like, no, they are. Here's the data. That's all we're talking about. What do you mean, come on, man? What condescending thing that you've just typed. Come on, man. Right back at you, sir. I love you, but what? Okay. I, for one, would love the fact that Jaffy streams turn into the Victim Olympics. What do you want, man? Do you just not have compassion for people? This is a real thing. It happens. Stop. It's easy to, he says, Ultra Awesome says, stop being victims. Be proud of who you are. My trans child is very proud of who he is. He has a YouTube channel. He puts music out. He's not proud. His friends aren't not proud. I'm sure the Jews in the concentration camps in Germany weren't not proud, or were proud. Let's just say we're proud. I can't do the triple negatives. But it doesn't mean that just because you're proud, you don't have people, disproportionately harming you. What a silly thing. What a silly thing. I'm not afraid of Pete Turtle. I like Pete Turtle to some extent, but he comes in and it derails the show right now. And I'm trying to see if I can make the show work without, once I get to Pete Turtle, I hit a ceiling, and I like having him on the show. But right now I need to know if I'm learning to fly a plane. I'm looking at these numbers and going, all right, Jaffy, if you want to do the Jaffy stream on the semi-regular, then you need to figure out what they like about this and just bring in P Turtle. And I know where that's going to go. That's not a insult to P Turtle. All right. He says he'll be quick. Fine. All right. If you're going to be quick, let's do it. Like 5 minutes tops. All right. There's the link. If you want to call in, call in. Jaffy, how can you champion IRL social justice and turn around and lambast the character development of Norse Kratos? I don't see why one has to do with the other. The what? I don't understand. This is the weird thing, Twisted Sith. People come at me and they say things like, Jaffy, how can you be a progressive, but you had sex and tits and God of War? I'm like, what does one have to do with the other? Overt sexuality in my entertainment and still not want to be an asshole in the real world. I can't get my head around that. What? All right, here we go, boys. Hang in, buckle up. Here's what I'll say about Pete Turtle. At least he calls in. My brother, and I'm telling you something. Some people say, Jeff, you're really smart. Some people say I'm an idiot. My brother's so smart. He won't call in. What a baby. See what I'm doing, folks? It's called goading. It's called reverse psychology. He's got a degree in psychology. He's not even a practicing psychologist. He won't even call in. What a baby. All right, here's P Turtle. All right, P Turtle, what's going on?
I'm P Turtle.
Okay, what? Oh, no. That's all you're going to say? Oh, these people. You guys. That is... Oh, see, I think they're stupid people. It's not like like the guy who said he was bent over, like that was his name. Who are you? Do you think you're talking to? Do you like, let's bring this guy in. He says he's the savior of gaming. Okay. Savior of gaming. You're on.
It's P Turtle.
Oh my God. Well, who was P Turtle?
I don't know. Who the hell was that?
I don't know. Who would claim to be you who wasn't?
A lot of people. I
don't believe you.
Pretty
What's
important
up,
guy.
Keep it quick.
Well, I'm being quick. I just want to refute two things. First of all, that blew up in your face because, as we can see, trans people are, not being harmed by anybody in this country. That's very rare.
Whoa. What do you mean it blew up in my face? She literally said the most marginalized group are trans black women.
Can I explain that? There's two things I wanted to explain with that data.
Well, explain it, but
okay, I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick because I know you want me out of here.
But let's be clear, it didn't blow up in my face. She told me.
Well, then you know what? It's about to. So just let me speak.
Go.
So with black people, they're the ones that usually face the most violence because it's from other black people.
Fair, whoever it's from. Still.
Well, what do you mean? No, you can't feel bad for one group of people if that same group of people are doing the crime to each other. That's their problem. I'm not going to feel bad for black people because they're being victimized by other black people.
Okay,
so it's not like I just want to say this. Let me just say this.
I want to understand before you say the next thing. I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm trying to understand. So what you mean then is the
It's not a race thing.
Okay, but hang on though. So what you're saying is I should not feel bad for the Jews who died in the concentration camps, correct?
What does that got to do with anything?
Well, Germans killed Germans, but why would I feel bad for that? It's German on German violence.
I'm not saying you shouldn't feel bad. What I'm saying is I think when you pull that statistic up, it implies that there's some sort of racism involved. And it's like, no, black people are just being victimized by other black people because they live in the same proximity as other black people. Whoever lives around black people is going to be
okay. Fine. Hurt. So then take the black. The black was the number one thing. So take the black.
Okay.
Part
now, when it comes to the black trans people,
no. Take the black part out of it. So then you have women and trans women. So trans women are the most assaulted group in America. So
they said black trans women.
Yes, but you can take the black part off.
No. That's a different topic. So I just wanted to talk about the black violence in general. But now I want to speak on the black transgender violence. That's a whole different thing.
Okay, but are you talking about the black transgender women being assaulted by black?
No, because it wasn't the statistic that they face the most violence from, but it was specifically black transgender women.
Yes, that is a statistic.
Right. What I'm saying is that's different from what I was just talking about. In general, black people receive the most crime because they're victimized by other black people because they live near black people.
I mean, that's terrible.
All right, I'm just saying it's not a race thing. The second thing is
what's not
when
a
it comes
race
to
thing? You
I'm
mean
saying
black
it's
on
not like a
black violence?
racist thing. Yeah, it's a black on black thing. Whoever is around black people are going to get hurt.
I just want to be clear. You're saying black on black violence is not about being anti-black.
Right.
Okay, I don't know if that's true, but it seems logical.
It is true. And if you look at any other,
let me say this. True. I'm saying
if you look at any other statistic, Jaffy,
I don't know. But
fair
fine,
enough. If you look at
true.
Okay, if you look at any other statistic, whether it's anti-Semitic crimes, stop the goddamn Asian hate, it's always these people are being attacked by blacks. It's always the blacks, so it doesn't matter. The blacks are violent. Now to the second thing about transgendered blacks.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Oh.
Let's stay because you can't drop a bomb like the blacks are violent and just go, no one will say nothing, I suppose.
It's a fact. They make up 13% of the population and they do about, what is it, 60 or 70% of the crime, overall crime in the country?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.
So the person saying I'm black, I'm not. I'm a white American. Go ahead.
Okay, so black people, according to a statistic you're laying out, do most of the violence in America, is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, it's a fact.
I mean, that's not a fact, but in terms of per capita,
it's not a fact. Look it up.
They're way more white people, but if you're talking about violent crime,
per capita. No, not even. I believe overall, not even per capita. They do the most crime in this country. I don't even think you have to go per capita.
I think you do, but I can find out.
No, I'm telling you, I think you could check this.
Okay, let's check it right now.
Let's see.
Let me.
They also make up what the most imprisoned.
I'm gonna mute you. Wait a minute. I'm gonna mute you just so I can hear. So there's no echo. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, can you tell me in America, the last data we have, what race of people did the most crime, that were accused of and arrested for the most crimes? Were they black? Were they white? Were they Asian? Were they Mexican? What was the race?
Crime data in the United States, often reported by the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting UCR program, shows that the largest number of arrests typically involved individuals identified as white, followed by black or African American individuals. However, these numbers can be misleading if taken out of context, as they don't account for the overall population size of each racial group. White individuals constitute a larger portion of the U.S. population.
Right. So I don't know if you heard that, P. Turtle, but that's sort of the point. Is that, of course,
no, I was talking about specifically violent crime.
Okay, but even violent crime, there's so many more white people in America than black. But so that's what I'm saying. Your point is more about.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay. So
there's an echo.
Let me get rid of the echo. Hang on. Okay, there you go. So your point though is more that black folks per capita will do more of the crime.
Oh yeah. Believe me. Like I said, you look at almost any hate crime that goes on in this country, it's by black people.
Okay,
they're the ones that are beating up all the Jews in New York. They're the ones that were beating up all the Asians during the pandemic.
Let's assume that's correct. Okay, so here's my question. Why?
Well, there's some data to suggest that they could just be inherently violent. It could be a class thing, which is probably what it is, right? They make up a large part of the lower part of the hierarchy in this country. They're usually broke, and usually when you're broke and hungry and you have no money, you do violent things.
Okay, so and I think that's probably a fair statement.
When it's a class thing.
When you're broke and hungry, you do violent things because you have to survive and take care of your family and your loved ones. So
you're also less educated. When you're less educated and you have low IQ,
okay, but you're
going to be more violent. You're more impulsive.
You said two different things. Less educated does not mean less IQ, right?
So I know, but I'm saying when you're less educated and you have a lower IQ, which I believe black people are.
You're saying black people have lower IQ.
I think the only people that might be under them, it could be Hispanics. I'm not entirely sure.
All right, let's go to. I don't know if I believe you, but I'd like to find out if that's. I'd like to find out how true that is. So let me
Okay.
let me mute you. I'll be right back. Okay. Hey, have there been any studies to suggest which race, at least in America, consistently scores highest and lowest on education and tests and things like that? Are black people historically smarter than white people, historically do worse than Asian people? What can you tell me about the data that we have that's most recent?
Educational performance in the U.S. varies across different racial and ethnic groups, influenced by numerous factors such as socioeconomic status, access to quality education, and systemic inequalities. Generally, Asian American students often score above average on standardized tests and other educational metrics, attributed to a variety of factors, including cultural emphasis on education and higher rates of parental education. White students tend to perform above the national average, but show a wide range of outcomes based on socioeconomic status. Black and Hispanic students often score below the national average, but this is closely linked to factors like underfunded schools, lower family income, and fewer educational resources. It's important to emphasize that these outcomes are not indicative of innate ability, but reflect systemic issues and disparities in educational opportunities.
Okay, so, and I think, let me bring Turtle back up. I think most people would agree with what she just said, which is, you know, you have to take so many socioeconomic factors into account, and it's got nothing to do with race anymore. It has everything to do with the situations that certain races have been, the hands they've been dealt. I mean, you don't agree with that? You think it's just inherent?
Well, listen, I don't even trust that AI because, as you could already see, the AI is making excuses. But let me say this. Let me say this. I believe that IQ, even if you check around the world, even in African countries where black people reside the most, they tend to be lowest IQ.
Show me that.
I believe Asians are the highest. I believe Jews are right under them, or I believe it was close between the Jews and Asians. I think Asians were always higher. The Jews were there. The white men were there. But yeah, Hispanics and blacks are low. It just
okay, he's just turned into a Casio machine from the 80s. P Turtle, your mic cut out. Maybe your phone died. So there you go. That's it for P Turtle on the show. But yeah. So, you know, Tima says it's not true. I'm Asian and dumb. Philip says, which he's right, but people will push back on you, Philip. He says Judaism is not a race. Of course it's not. But what they really, you know what they're saying? They're talking about, you know, Eastern European people that pray to the Yahweh. That's what they're talking about. But they don't want to really necessarily say that. So I'm not going to bring them back. If the chat wants them back, you guys can tell me. But, you know. But look, I mean, these are people that are out there. And P Turtle, you know, look, I don't never know how much of a character P Turtle plays, but the fact is, though, you know, the end of the, yeah, I'm not bringing you back on P Turtle unless somebody super chats me $30. If somebody super chats me $30, I'll bring him back. Anywhere from $30 to $50, he comes back. Otherwise, no. But what I would say. Sorry, fellas. What I would say is, you know, when you think about just the conditions in America, when you think about the prisons, you know, it really is not a chicken or egg problem. It just isn't. The idea that it's not grifting, it's capitalism. I'm not grifting. I would be lying. Grifting would be me telling you that P Turtle has cancer, and if you give me $30, I'll give him 10 of it to cure his cancer. That's grifting. But the point is, though, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, look at the disproportionate number of black men in prison. You know, because black folks are more violent, it's because there is a financial incentive to imprison folks that don't have the economic benefit of great lawyers and the ability to fight the system. And then those same people end up basically having, slavery thrust upon them, because a lot of these prisons will hire out these folks to work for like pennies a day, to do work for just companies, just straight up companies. It's modern slavery. And I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that. You shouldn't like to hear that, but I can show you the stats to that. It's a real fucking thing. I don't know what you want from me. I didn't fucking do it. Hell, I voted against it. But, a lot of places said it's okay in this last election in terms of there were actually things up on the ballot. Fubie has been a member for 41 months. He says, please don't bring him back. He's not educated enough. Bring back Psycho. So could it not be the case different groups have different genetics that cause different behaviors? Sure, it could be that case. I think I think there's absolutely no doubt that people probably at some level, depending on where they're from, maybe they do have different abilities or whatever. I don't think that's something that should be like, we can never say that. We can never talk about that. But let's put it this way. If you're going to actually have that conversation, my guess would be that the number of cases where those elements affect the quality of someone's life or actions are way lower than the societal and economic aspects and the historical aspects and the systemic aspects that affect that same group's life. So if you really care about this topic, then sure, you can factor that into your scientific study, but you can't do that as the only thing you're willing to look at, because then you are pretty much a eugenics motherfucker. And that's a real problem for people who think. Addy Pie Money Talks, I paid $30. You didn't pay $30, did you? No, you didn't. But pay me $30, I'll bring them back. Fuck yeah. You have to be exceedingly cautious when you bring biology into it. Some people love easy essentialism. Well, I won't be cautious because it might very well be a factor. But it's not the only factor, and it's certainly not the most important factor. And my brother says, then again, the IQ tests measure qualities considered intelligent by the society that made the test. That's another great point. So, Jaffy, how much the donation to bring P Turtle back? Says Alex. I would say, seriously, just getting you into an English as a second language class would be enough. But for the sake of now, I love you, Alex. See, Ludo would take issue with that. I would say, like I said, $30. $30. I'll put Turtle back on the show. It's got to be $30. I'm sorry. Jaffy, I'm begging you, let me get the black trans point. No, they got to pay to get you back. What happened to the beautiful, annoying redhead girl? You guys wanted her gone, so I got rid of her. I'm a real democracy here. I'm not even a republic. Yeah, you can crowdfund it. I'll tell you what. I'll put up a super chat. What do the kids call it? I'll put up a super chat goal. Okay, here we go. Pick a goal. We will do 10 super chats, 5, 10, 15. And it's got to be $5 or higher, and it's got to be in the next 15 minutes. P Turtle back for at least, I'll say 10 minutes. There you go. So this will be the goal should be started over on YouTube. It's up there at the top. Yeah, P Turtle's pay-per-view. That's right. Jaffy, what are your thoughts on Gacha games? Says Rory. I've only played Zen Zone Zero, and I've only played a little bit of was it the Star Rail fucking thing? I don't particularly like games when I know it's not that I mind paying for games. Like I pay every month for Hearthstone for their season pass. Happy to do it. But it doesn't really feel like pay for power. But when you get into like a gacha game, I have a hard time losing myself in it because I can clearly, like a lot of people, you can see the mechanics and the effort to get you to spend money that doesn't really seem born out of an effort to give you a great time. Although I do think Zen Zone Zenless or whatever it's called would be fucking awesome on its own because the combat's really good. It's just that you very quickly recognize you're in this loop of, okay, well, no matter how good I get, I'm going to have to spend ducats. And, did you see the guys leaked 007 game trailer? No. Is it leaked or will it get my channel banned? Like, is it something that here, I want to see that 00 trailer, let's see, first trailer, Henry Cavill. No, that's bullshit. You mean the game trailer? What are you talking about, Bukaki? Okay, Lost Media, let me see what he's talking about. You're a dick. Oh, it's a Lego one. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'll put that up in a minute. Hang on. No, I didn't see it. I thought you meant like the one made by the Hitman guys. Anyway, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Are we done? Are we wrapping it up? What time is it here in San Diego? It's 5:00. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, I'll go walk to the bookstore. I had nothing like a walk in the winter, fall, whatever this is. You get coffee and you go walk to the bookstore. All right, well, I mean, we need to hear that audio though. I got $5. Emmanuel, I'm in it for the long haul. If we can get that number up to where it needs to be, but thank you, Emmanuel, regardless. And if you want to call in and you're not P Turtle, this is the guest line. I'm not walking in San Francisco. I'm in San Diego, baby. I didn't like living in San Francisco, actually. I really liked, I didn't live in Portland. Was it Portland? Seattle. Yeah. So Seattle reminds me of San Francisco, but I like it. But I did not like when I lived up in San Francisco. Love Southern California, though. Adore it. Stupidly expensive. I don't really need to live here anymore. I should move somewhere, but it's a whole ball of wax. Do you know there are people I talk to and I find out what they pay for their houses, like mortgage and shit. And I'm just like, my God, man. Don't wait on Discord. I'm not bringing anybody in from Discord. You have to be on this thing. You have to click the link because Discord's not hooked up to get your audio right now. So, I mean, to move to a place, I wouldn't want to live in Wisconsin. But to move to a place like that or something, God, you know what you get for your money? Holy shit.
Don't touch me there.
Sky Gonzalez has stepped up to the plate and said, I like this P Turtle fella. There's something about him. There's something about the way he moves and speaks to me that, although Sky Gonzalez says $10 not to hear P Turtle. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. But the thing is, though, it's got to be, I mean, look, if you talk, okay, here's what I'll say. The first to hit 50. So right now I got 5 on bringing him back, and I've got 10 not to bring him back. So that's okay. We'll fucking wait. We'll wait to see where we get. P Turtle says this is sad. It's not sad. It's capitalism. I thought that's what you love, P Turtle. You're all American. What I don't understand. What do you mean? Bringing up race and IQ is straight up racism, says God of War. I suppose now P Turtle says you're exploiting a black man. I thought you weren't black. I would say it's racism if you're not bringing it up and looking at it scientifically.
You must be rich.
Then you get into a situation where you're like, yeah, it's racist. But if you bring it up like, hey, I want to take systemic history, I want to take socioeconomics, I want to take biology, I want to take not just the IQ test, but like Philip said, I want to take the test and look at different tests based on who wrote them, then I want to see how all that comes out in the wash. I think that's a valid piece of conversation and scientific study. I think if you're just like, these people have a low IQ, then it's racist. Yeah, absolutely. All right. The free market has spoken, but you don't understand what it said. It said, David Seeger, thank you for that super chat. Big $50 super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, I'm giving you $50 not to hear P Turtle. So if you want to hear P Turtle, you've got like 10 minutes left. Right now to hear P Turtle is $5. I've got $60 saying, we don't want to hear this guy. Okay. You got 10 more minutes till the polls close. If you really want to hear him, and look, Pete, here's what I'll tell you about Pete Turtle. Pete Turtle is a man of the people. At least that's what he tells us, which means we're not all money bags out here like good Sir Sky Gonzalez or good Sir David Seeger. You guys got to Bernie Sanders this shit. You guys got to little donations, little baby donations, $10, $5, $2.99. If you want to bring back your guy, and he's waiting. Let's find out. P Turtle, you're still there, right? P Turtle. He may have gone. No, he'll come back if you pay him. But I wanted to see if he was still there. But we'll get him back. But P Turtle says these people will not pay to hear the truth, but they won't purchase their woke games. Sad. Oh well, you know. But Darth Nugget says, nah, I can wait. Okay, yeah. So let's see. P Turtle, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, but listen.
This thing doesn't work well.
Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Here's the question. You got like 10 seconds. You gotta rile up your base. They're not voting. They need to vote in small donations.
No, I would listen, if I don't
10 seconds, go.
Oh man, guys, please. I just want to deliver some facts.
There you go. So he's out there. He is out there. He wants you guys. No, I only brought him back because I'm like, I adjusted the rules a bit. You've got 10 minutes left to give P Turtle more than $60. Right now, he is at a $55 deficiency. I do care about what David Seeger did, but David Seeger put, you know, he's like a money pack. He's dark money. The Supreme Court with Citizens United birthed David Seeger. And now he's basically buying the vote. So if you got, I said there were two criteria. There was the amount and the time. The amount has been hit, but the time is still going. If you guys can somehow find it in your hearts and wallets to basically put up a lot of small donations, you can do that. Anthony says, this is bullshit. Keep them away. Well, get out to the polls, baby. Get out to the polls. But right now, Anthony, you're right. You are absolutely right. Do I take food stamps? No. I mean, it's a YouTube issue. Hang on. All right. Looks like David Seeger is gonna put us over the top, but thank you, buddy. Sorry, P Turtle. I mean, unless somebody comes in the last second, you're gonna get blown out. So, P Turtle could just drop the money himself if he really believes the shit he's spewing. Says Duro. That's a good point. It's a really good point. It's not gonna count. Darth Nugget, who's been a member to Cold Calypso, which he knows I appreciate and love, he says, I owe you $75. Bullshit. Doesn't work that way, baby, but thank you. You know I appreciate you being part of our community, even though we disagree on every goddamn thing on the planet for the most part. But I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for that. Jaffy secretly drumming up book and coffee money for his walk after the show. That's right. Shit ain't cheap. Shit ain't cheap. I'll tell you what. You know how much a fucking because I had never drank a latte, of pumpkin spice latte until this season, and I was like, well, I want to try this now. I want to give this a shot, and so I go there, and I'm expecting to spend $3 for a small. A goddamn small pumpkin spice latte is $6.75. What the fuck is that bullshit about? I don't know. I've had a lot more ads than usual, not griping, wondering if that was adjusted. It may be a seasonal thing. I can look into it after the stream because I can't adjust those things on the stream, but it may be because we're now in the holiday shopping season. YouTube may have just a lot more inventory and they're selling a lot more ads. Are you guys also seeing a lot more ads, or is it just him? Assuming you have don't have premium. Bukaki says pumpkin spice latte is a low tea drink. Fine. You fuck. Fine. I don't care. I'm tired of that shit too. I'm tired of that shit. That was my response to Bukaki. I liked it though. It was pretty good. You really think a green name like me would have the basic package? What? I don't know what that even means. You really think a green name like me would have the basic package? I don't know. Eat pumpkin spice cupcakes and call it a day. Amazon has some. Well, no. Okay. Alex, what's up, buddy? Alex. And then he's gone. Unless that's Bukaki doing his Alex voice. Alex, are you there, bud? All right. Well, you're on the show if you want to talk, buddy. Would you? Oh God. Yeah. For $1 billion, I'm not even going to read it, but if you look at the stream, fuck, I'd do anything. I wouldn't hurt anybody, but would I do that for $1 billion? Yeah. Fuck yeah, I would. Oh my God. Who gives a shit? $1 billion? I know. I want you to join Cult Calypso, Anthony. I would love it. I don't know what to tell you. There goes Ace. Off to the races. Oh, that's okay, Daxter. Don't worry about it, buddy. Oh no. Yeah, but no, don't even worry about it, bud. Take care of yourself. We're here when you get back, whenever you do. And if not, don't worry about it either. Just be good. Have a good life, man. Yeah, in a heartbeat. Hang on a second. Jaffy says, Doug, you already have fuck you money. I don't have fuck you money. You guys have me mixed up with Cliffy B. What experiences or doodads would $1 billion bring you that really justifies fucking a hobo in the... Well, okay, you're starting to add some things now. I never said that was how it was going to go down with the hobo. I don't think I could pull that off. Now, again, we always assume a hobo is a male, right? I'm assuming in this scenario it's a male. Well, that's because you have to suck off a hobo. Unless you're talking about, clitoral. But I assume we're all, but now you've kind of added some nuance to the conversation. I don't think I could pull that off because how do you do that if it's not your cup of tea, right? But the FU money thing, though, what would $1 billion... Look. Hi. you know, so look, if you're talking about, you know, what would you buy? Here's what I would buy. I would hire people. I would spend some money to hire a really good producer to produce the stream. And then I would make this channel 24/7, and I would pay other streamers to basically, it would be like MTV. It would be 24/7 content that I think is cool. It would be like having just a TV station, but it never goes off the air. But you know, people all over the world would be streaming, so it's 24/7. It's not like I want to do it 24/7. That's probably what I would do with the money. Is I would really kind of try to create some sort of you know, YouTube channel that keeps going, man. Is what I would do. Nick, you do it for $50K a year. The problem I've had so far finding someone is I can't commit, or I won't commit to anything other than month to month, because until I get to, and that's hard for people, and I get that, especially qualified people. But Zeke says, sounds cool. Let's find a hobo. Right. The problem is that I need to know we work well together. I need to know the ideas are starting to work on the channel. If I commit to a year long, but the money doesn't come in with that person's efforts, then I'm kind of fucked. Right. So, but if you have a better way we can work it out, we can have a conversation. But I'm terrible at that stuff. Like I was talking to somebody last night about it. It's just like, you know, I would benefit. This show would benefit. You as an audience would. I mean, think about the number. It's not a big deal. You just fuck you, Jaffe. He's 1,000 streamers. I know, but fuck you. Think about the number of really great conversations that I've missed because it went by in a chat that I just didn't see. Because I was, you know, doing 20 things at once. I hate that. Well, if I found a hobo with $1 billion, well, no, it's a magic. Magic takes care of the $1 billion. Alex, are you there?
Yeah, do you hear me?
I can hear you great. What's going on, champ?
Yeah, I wanted to know, Jaffy, how did you become a non-believer? Did you read all the Bibles, the Quran, all that stuff, and did you realize that this is the path that you have to follow?
Alex, wait. I got to get this Diet Soda Soldier thing from Mute Mode, which I very much appreciate. 41 months, and it was we couldn't hear you because it has a sound effect, which I should turn down, but hang on. Mute Mo, member for 41 months. Thank you, buddy. He says, would you hire writers for your stream? It depends on the show. I wouldn't hire writers for me for these shows, but if I would do like a narrative show, certainly. If I would do more of a documentary series, sure, absolutely. Okay, Alex, please ask your question again.
Yeah, Jaffy, I want to know, how did you become a non-believer? Did you read the Bible, the Quran, and did you read all the other religion books? Did you realize that this is the path that you have to follow?
Okay, how did I become a non-believer in religion?
Yes, why did you become a non-believer?
Why would I? Okay, well, let me ask you, why would I, if you gave birth to not you, but let's say you fell in love, somebody would let you have sex with them, and then you guys had a baby, but you totally did it, you know, on a desert island, right? And you guys didn't know anything about God or anything like that.
Yes.
Would you automatically believe in the Jesus or the Muhammad or the Buddha or Yahweh? Or, I mean, to me, the question goes to you. Why are you a believer? In a vacuum, no one's a believer.
Yes, but I understand your question. My question is, nowadays, in now society, you have books, you have people telling you this is the right path, but you don't have to believe it, but you can educate yourself and read the books and decide if this is the right path or not. Does it apply to your life?
What you're asking then is, based on the data I have seen regarding traditional religion, why did data not convert me?
Exactly. Okay. Because you're a smart man. You should know the right path.
Okay, well.
Come on, Jaffe.
I'm telling you, let me answer your question.
Okay,
so
let's say.
Do you want me to answer your question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So you actually had two questions. One is, if the right people are saying this is the path, why didn't I listen? Because the vast majority of times, the right people that say this is the path end up showing by their actions that they get, quote, caught doing, suggests that it's not really the path. It's the path for them to make money and them to get power, but not for their followers' lives to be better. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of the books themselves, I have seen historical contradictions about who actually wrote what and who said what. I have seen actual contradictions in the Bible or in the Torah or whatever itself. I also have seen contradictions regarding what we know about the world now, both historically and scientifically, that don't track with what is in those books. And so all of those things contributed, along with the fact that I haven't seen any evidence that anything in those books is anything other than very wonderful, very meaningful, in not all, but a lot of cases, morality plays, that I go, oh yeah, those are just like the stories of Zeus and Hermes and the Celtic myths, and why would I think of them as anything other than that?
So you think the Pope is bullshit? The Pope, what about the Pope?
David Seeger, good night, buddy. Thank you, buddy, for hanging out with us, and thank you for your super chat and being part of our community. I appreciate it, man. Oh, sorry. Do I think the Pope is bullshit?
Yes. What about the Pope?
Super
All
bullshit.
these people that it's super bullshit.
Yes. Do you know, by the way, I want to get back to your conversation, but do you know there's a chair in the Vatican that has a hole in it? Like it's a chair, like a seat with armrest, very elegant chair, but there's a hole in the bottom of the chair. Do you know why?
Why?
Have you never heard this?
Oh, wait, I got it. Okay, I know what you mean. But okay, so you're telling me that. But what about the beliefs? What about the beliefs?
Stop. Do you know why there's a hole in a chair in the Vatican?
So they can pray to God underneath. I don't get it.
No, what it is there was a pope back, I want to say it was like 1400s, but I probably got the date wrong. And it was actually a woman, and the woman tricked the conclave and everything for like 2 months. And then they recognized, holy shit, we've been bamboozled. This is a woman. And since then, now they don't use it anymore, but in that, 60, 80, 100, 200 year period after, when the Pope was decided you're the next Pope, he would have to sit in the chair and a doctor would come in and make sure there were testicles there.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, true story. I can put it up on the stream if you want to see a picture of it. But the point back to you, though, is yes, I think the Pope is full of shit.
Let me ask you the last question quickly. What do you think of a possessed person? Let's say if a person's possessed and they speak in tongues, right?
Okay, you
And
mean
if
like
they-
someone possessed
if they
by
speak-
demons and stuff? Is that what you mean?
Hello?
You mean, what do I think of someone who's possessed and they speak in tongues and all that stuff?
Yes. What do you think of that? Is it bullshit, or is it, if you see it in front of your eyes, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I think if they're possessed, they're totally possessed. It's very real.
So you believe in possession?
No, it's bullshit.
Come on, Jaffy. Come on.
It's
Why did-
bullshit. It's bullshit.
on.
Let me listen. It's a parlor trick. I've made videos about it. Here's where I'm going to be impressed. Okay, I'm going to be
What
impressed.
about the signs?
What about the what?
The signs on their
signs?
body. What about the signs?
From Happy Days?
Signs. From being a possessed soul.
What do they have on their bodies?
What about the signs? They speak in tongues.
Okay, stop. Let's take the speaking in tongues. Just stop right there. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to show me evidence of a person who claims to be possessed, and I want you to then show me them speaking in an actual language like Latin that they have no reason that they would ever know. Anybody can do stream of consciousness ramblings, dude. I can go, anyone can do that shit. You believe that shit? That's horse shit. You're being scammed, baby.
So you're 100% sure it's all bullshit? Your evidence.
I'm 100% sure I've never seen anything to make me think it's real. Also, there's a very big piece of logic that really doesn't track when it comes to the idea of the devil. Would you like to know what it is? Alex, would you like to know what that piece of logic
Wow,
is?
man. So
Would you like to know? Ask yourself
I
this.
understand. No. Okay.
Ask
Yeah.
yourself
Go.
this.
Go. Go
If
ahead. Go
you
ahead.
are Satan, okay, so what is Satan's goal as you understand it? What does Satan want? Are you there?
I don't know. They want the. They want. They want. He wants to take over the world.
Right. He wants to take over. I don't know what that means, but let's say
He wants to take out the world in a evil way. Like,
but what does he want? I mean, he wants to. Does he want to own the real estate in Malibu? What's his goal?
his goal is for people to do all the wrong stuff in the world.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So if you're
Meaning,
the okay.
So wait a minute.
Go ahead.
So I gotta ask you something, Jaffy. Let's say the world is possessed by like the devil possesses the kids. Most likely they possess the kids at younger age, and then they also possess the women. A lot of the women more than men. Have you realized that? I don't know
fine.
why, but have you
let's fine, whatever. What's your
I'm
point?
breaking up.
Okay, what's your point though?
So I'm just saying, like in the movies, they always show the girl being possessed.
In the movies, Alex, I'm going to let you go, champion.
But think
I'll talk to you
about
soon,
all
buddy.
the cases, Jaffy, all the cases. Have you realized all the cases always girls being possessed?
Okay, fine. So what? Who cares? What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, but have you realized why? Why? I don't know why, but I'm asking you,
Well, who
why?
gives a shit? No,
why
I
is
don't
the
know
possession
why.
always a girl?
I don't know. Maybe because the grift works better when you are sympathetic to the victim, which means that, and it's not always a girl, by the way, but I let's assume I buy your fact that whenever we see people who are possessed in real life, it tends to be a girl. Maybe it's because most people are going to be sympathetic to a girl, so it's easier to see her as a woman, a damsel in distress, and in that you are more apt to buy into the horse shit you're being sold. That would be my guess if your fact is correct.
Okay, me, I have no evidence. I have no facts, but I would love to join your next
Call of Duty
session of what is it called?
Call of Duty.
Yes, I would love to.
I will have you
Okay,
there.
when
Let me
is it?
tell you
When
what-
is
let
it?
me-
Please
I
tell
don't
me a
know when
date.
it is
Give
yet.
me
I
a
don't know when
date.
it is yet. I don't know when it is yet, but soon. But I want to tell you one more thing, though. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you are the devil, and Bukaki writes in and he says the devil exists because he wants us to all focus on our own desires. Anytime we rely on ourselves, he is pleased. Okay. So here's where I get confused. If I was walking down the street and suddenly this random person started floating and speaking in ancient Latin and all of these horrific things, do you know what I would do? If I
What would you
believed it,
do?
if I checked for wires and impractical jokers and all that shit and it was real, you know what I would do? Where would I go? What would I start believing in?
No, go ahead. What would you do?
I would start believing in God. I would go, holy shit, if this shit's real, then I'm going to church. Okay? So why in the world would the devil ever do anything to let people know he is real? All it's going to do is drive people into the arms of Mohammed, Jesus, Yahweh, Buddha. If the devil's real, why is he out there doing the very thing that's going to get people to become Christian?
You're right, but why don't you
goddamn
bring
right
a
I'm
priest
right.
on
And
the
it's not because
show?
I'm
And
smart. It's because
no,
I'm not
Jaffy,
dumb.
Jaffy, why don't you bring a priest on the show for once and ask him these questions?
Go find me a priest. He can call in. Does a priest not have a phone or a computer? Any priest is more than welcome to call in. But I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
just saying. It will be a nice show.
I'm not
Trust me.
staying up at night going, I need someone to prove to me that God is real. All right. Be well, sir. I'll
Jaffy,
get
I'm
you
breaking up. You're breaking up. I
We're
can't.
breaking up. We can
anymore.
rebuild them. We have the technology. All right. We'll put you on the next show. We'll put you on the next Call of Duty. See, Alex. There he goes. By the way, Chad, did you know about the Vatican secret poop chair? I don't know if it's a poop chair. I don't know. But it is a real thing, or at least it's a real story. I'll show you. Vatican. Let me just put it on the stream real fast for you. Vatican chair hole woman. The myth of the papal toilet chair. The woman pope. New evidence for a medieval mystery. You guys can go look it up. I'm not going to fucking go to somewhere and read to you, but I'll show it to you. First and only female pope. Under normal circumstances, her story would be classified as a legend, but this one is different. Her story cannot be easily discarded as fiction, as there's lots of clues and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then let me see if they have a picture of the chair. I think they do. Yep, there's the chair right there. The most bizarre clue is a purple marble chair with a hole where the Pope-elect had to sit while a junior deacon performed an examination in front of all the cardinals. If the inspection was passed, the cardinals announced, "He has 2 testicles and they dangle well." Apparently, this ritual was introduced to prevent any other woman from ever again becoming the Pope. Scholars, however, are divided about the topic, many of them believing such a chair had only symbolic meaning. What symbolic meaning would it have? In any case, the Sturcoiry chair was eliminated from the rite of investiture in 1560. It's the women bad chair. That's right. That's what the quartering makes his wife sit in every night. I need to make sure you're not a man, you think? Why are so many priests obsessed with testicles, says my brother. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with these people. All right, fellas. Well, I think I might do some game streaming tonight, but I'm going to the bookstore. So okay. Let me do a poll real quick. Let me put up a poll. I have a few questions. I need to do some research on this very show so I can know how to move forward with my goddamn life. Okay. Question number 1. And now I feel I'm gonna write this down because I'm a genuinely nice fella, but I feel bad. But was I too mean to Vara Dark? I feel bad. Why do I feel bad about that? But I mean, she was lying about me and she was being a jerk. Why don't I get to attack her just because she's a woman? I don't think I should feel bad about that. Maybe that's just societal training. I wouldn't feel bad if I was saying that to Grums. Grums is a ugly dude. There's no problem calling him an ugly dude, but I feel bad going. And I didn't even say she was ugly. I said part of her appeal is that she's, a mostly attractive lady with a good head of hair. All right. Most of you guys don't think I was too harsh on her. That's good. That's good. I know we must be better, Hector Howell, but that's not working. It's very dark for Pope, says Doug. Yeah. All right. Here's another question. Here's the other poll. Let me close that poll. There we go. Hang on. Un momento, por favor. Close the poll, motherfucker. All right, here's a new poll coming up. It says this. This poll start. I don't want to start a QA. I want to start a poll, you fuck. Close the poll, bitch. Remove the poll. What the fuck? Remove it. It's over. It's done. Yeah. I'm a little feisty fucker. All right. Now, here we go. Here's the next poll. All right, this poll says Gabbin Games and Jaffy stream okay? Meaning, do you like? A yes would be you like this kind of show and it should be part of the rotation a couple times a week. A no would be, dude, never do this again. Please stick with only video game content. This is terrible for the brand, terrible for the channel, and I literally fucking hate you. Right? No, don't do literally fucking hate me, because it's a totally different thing. All right, so let's see. Jaffy, you think Vera's doing a poll asking if she was too hard? No, she's not. But A, I'm older. I'm probably old enough to be your dad. And B, I didn't even attack her looks, but I used her looks, and I know that that's not good form, but she wasn't doing any good form shit with me. So I don't know, man. I love you too, Hector. All right. So right now you get 75% of you, I'll end the poll, say, maybe, where'd the poll go, man? Gabbin Games, 75% of you want both. Okay. All right. Well, I like doing them. The show was kind of all over the place, says Bukaki. Not very good. Okay, okay, talk to me. What do you mean not very good? What was not very good about this show? Again, that's okay. I'd like to hear it. I need the advice, fellas. What do I do to make this better? What do I do to make it better? Bukaki says it wasn't very good. Oh, shut up about my setup. You really want, it's just a room. What do you want? I'm so, God. What do I need one of these stupid fucking, let's get the LED light. Do you buy that shit? That's like a turnkey background. This is actually where I work. Isn't that more genuine? Isn't that more honest? Don't you like that? Bukaki says, okay, but here's the challenge, Bukaki, right? Bukaki says you just harp on about shit that goes nowhere. It kills the energy. I don't think that's necessarily incorrect, but the problem with it is the ratings or the views stay or go up when I do that. And when I don't do that, they drop. So what am I to take from that data? Bukaki drive by. Let's go to Twitter real quick, though. See what's happening over on Twitter while we're waiting. I need to turn what off, Philip? The ratings, the rankings, or whatever. Just don't look at it. Caller segment is always entertaining. He says turn off the meter. Jamie, pull up Twitter. That's right. Hang on a second. I want to see something real fast. Somebody wrote, and yes, by the way, I do. Well, let me ask you this. I'm not a famous person, but I'm well known enough that people write stuff about me. And so, yes, I tweet myself. I see what people are saying. I search my name. I've never felt ashamed about that. But sometimes people are like, you tweeted, bitch, you would too. If people were writing about you and shit, I'm not tweeting, I don't care. Yeah, you do, you idiot. Shut up. Look at this. David Jaffe is live throwing ad hominems at you and saying you're welcome to call into the stream. Let's see what Vera Dark said. Oh, okay. She's just like Veilguard fan group bans laugh emoji, says bigots are using them as weapons. Oh, come on. That's actually true, but that's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. What she's talking about here, by the way, hey, they're welcome to call in, man. I'd love to talk to them, Fupy. What she's talking about here is Veilguard has a group on Facebook. I think it's Facebook. And they said, if you are using the laugh emoji as a troll, like someone says, I really thought Vanguard was a good game, and you do this laughing thing in your comment or you in your response, you can be banned for that. And Yeah, it's moderation. Sorry. I mean, again, I don't understand this stuff. It's like, not everybody wants every place to be Twitter, or should I say X, right? I go to Disneyland, whatever you may think of progressive people. I don't want to go to Disneyland and have to put up with people being able to walk around Disneyland with a fucking sign that says, I hate everyone that's basically not a white American Christian, right? That's a private, it's a business. I would never support the government doing anything like this. But if you have a business and you're trying to say, look, we are serving a lot of people and we don't want that type of thing on our page, at our business, whatever. Yeah. So what? It doesn't matter that a laughing emote triggers them, Wayne B. It does. It would trigger you as well. I'm not saying it would trigger you like you would want it to be removed, but some people just, some people, I don't know why it's asking or it's a sign of weakness that some people just want to be able to go, hey, I'm coming to this book club. I'd like to talk about the book, The Lord of the Fellowship of the Ring. And they don't want to go there and put up with like, oh, you like that dumb story? Hobbits are gross. Hobbits are stupid. And it's like, okay, why are you here? Right? Yeah, of course. Yes. Jonas says they are free to ban the emoji. We are free to laugh at their feelings made of glass. You are free to do it. Of course, man. No one's saying you're not. But ask yourself this, though. You're the one that's coming after them in this case. There are people out there expressing something they like. Just because you don't like it, yes, it makes you annoying. Do you have a right legally in America to be an annoying little prick? Of course you do. And I would fight for that right for you to do that in a public space. But what does it say about you that you are taking joy in shitting on something that someone else likes that you don't? Who's really in the right there? You're just an asshole at that point, right? I mean, and I agree. Tyler says hobbits are gross, Jaffy. Have you seen the fungus under their feet? Plus, they eat too much. Sure. On that we can agree, sir. On that we can agree. I left, went shopping, got dinner, and we still gabbing. No, it's the Jaffy stream. Yeah, that's right. Philip says, ooh, feet. Should have called in. We could have talked about these foot parties that are starting to get real popular out in the world. One of the things Philip hates the most are feet. If he could cut off his own feet, he probably would. He can't stand feet. And, look, man, there are parties starting to happen where people who are into feet, they go to these people's homes, they take their shoes and socks off, and they hire foot models. And I says to the person telling me about this, because she knows someone who is a model who got hired to come to one of these parties. And she said, and I asked my friend, I said, well, is it a sexual thing or is it just like people walking around? And she said, it depends. She said, sometimes people would come up to her and said, can I give you $40 to touch your feet? And in that case, she said it was sexual. She didn't do anything that was sexual, but the dude did. In other cases, it's like, no, I just think feet are cool. It's a foot party. I mean, what? That's okay. I mean, I don't give a shit. Do what you be happy, be nice to people. Where do feet fetishes come from? I don't know, but I did hear someone tell me that the reason they are apparently so common, my guess is that if you look up what are the top fetishes, feet seem like they would be at the top because that's what you hear about the most anyway, is that apparently part of the brain that is responsible for a large portion of one's sexual arousal experience is very close to the wiring of the brain of people's feet or their nerve center of their feet. I don't fucking know. And in that, Sometimes people get those when their brain is developing, kind of crossed or merged. I don't fucking understand. Sounds like Tim and Eric episode chopping off toes. I haven't heard it, but yeah. So, feet, man. Maybe, yeah, feet's it's evolutionary. Maybe it's like, hey, look what I can do. I can run and I can stand upright and you can't because you're just climbing out of primordial ooze. Fuck you. I'm getting all the ladies. Maybe. Could be that. Could be that. Philip says firmology. I don't know what that is. There's feet wiki for celebs. Yeah, people make a lot of money selling pictures of goddamn feet. But anyway, they banned the laugh emoji. I just, again, where did that guy go I was talking to? This is what happens. Is you get into these situations and I'm like, hey man, you have a right to want to lash out at people with a laugh emoji. But when I walk them through it and say, yeah, but it makes you an asshole, they just go away. I mean, I guess that's a victory of logic. Like they get shamed into no longer speaking, but where did that guy go? Why don't these people call in? Because I want to talk to him. I want to go talk to him. What am I missing? Were you a bully in high school? Do you like being mean to other people? This is something they like. This is something they care about. This is something they're coming to the internet to find like-minded people that are really into this. And your joy is showing up and shitting on them. And I get it if you're doing it kind of trolly, like, every now and then. But if this is a real thing for you, I would love to talk to that person because I don't understand it. And I don't mean that. I'm not being like, I'm really giving myself a compliment. Like I'm so noble and moral, I don't understand it. I'm saying I would like to know kind of what's going on with that, man. Is it a win in a life or a day where you get very, very few wins? Is that what we're talking about? Zag says this, Jaffy, did you hear about the pedophile who had a brain tumor and they removed it and he stopped liking kids? When he started liking kids again, he went back to the doc and he found the tumor growing back. No, but interesting. And hey, I was going to say, I don't know any pedophiles. Tragically, I'm sure I do. I'm sure we all do. But what I would say is I don't imagine most, but because your proclivities do monumental harm that in most cases seem to be with the victim until the day they go from the earth. So as much as that's all you probably also know that what you're doing is not really consensual and it is very, very bad. So if that is something they could find in the brain and go, oh, we can actually, turn this off. I think that would be amazing if what you're telling me is true. But I don't know if that's accurate. I did see, and I haven't looked it up, but I saw it as a headline that people voted in fact, let me just look this up real quick. I think I saw on Twitter. It may not be true. It seems like it's not true, but voted, remove testicles. That's what the chair is for. Pedophile. Okay, so it's real. I can't imagine that this is going to pass the Supreme Court, but these days, who knows? Louisiana surgical castration law. Louisiana is the first state to allow surgical castration to be used as a punishment for sex crimes under a new law. The law, which will go into effect August 1st, allows judges to order people found guilty of certain crimes against minors to undergo surgical castration. The use of surgical castration as a punishment, which is a permanent procedure that involves surgical removal of testicles and stop production of sex hormones, is rare elsewhere around the world. Yeah, it's, Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one because, I mean, you don't let somebody who was arrested for, I imagine if you shoot somebody up, like with a gun, maybe you're not allowed to buy a gun again when you get out of jail. I imagine if you're a drunk driver, you can have your license permanently taken away. So I guess there's kind of a basis for this. Yeah, I mean, Philip says that's fine, but what group is next? I mean, that's a very good point. It's like, oh, you know what? I don't really like this type of person. Let's pass a law so they can't make new people. Right? I mean, I get it. I don't know. Something seems really bad about it, even though it's hard to argue with the intent behind it. But maybe that's just because it's coming from Louisiana. There's very little coming out of Louisiana that you can be proud of. And that's, hey, I don't know if that's true. It's fucking true. I'm not going to try to walk that back. I'm not saying there aren't good people that come out of Louisiana, but it's Louisiana. I think they're the lowest. Which state has the worst education? New Mexico. Okay. Let's look at the rankings. 2004. Let's go to the very bottom. What do we get down there, boys? We get New Mexico. Well, I thought there's only 50 states, so I clearly didn't go to the right school. All right, Louisiana is, I guess we're doing 51 then. So how does that work? What else? What did they add in there? Puerto Rico, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arizona, Alaska, Louisiana. So the worst is New Mexico, then Oklahoma. Alabama's not too far behind. Mississippi's pretty bad. Where's my good old state of California? Come on now. You gotta be in the top 20 at least. It's like Auburn football. You're not even in the top 20, California. Shit, we're bad. Right in the middle. Oh, District of Columbia is in there. Yeah, it's 34. Okay. Yeah. So, God of War creator hates most people in Louisiana. Shut. I didn't say I hated them. I just said they're not super educated, according to the statistics. God. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, that's all I got. That's it. I'm going to go to the bookstore. So it was an okay show, but you weren't very fair to P Turtle or Vara. Well, fuck you. I was fair to P Turtle. I have P Turtle on the show all the time. He's probably going to be in our Call of Duty competition. And then on top of that, look, Vara, you think Vara Dark was fair to me? What am I supposed to do? Just kind of sit there and be like, well, they were jerks to me. She totally just lied about me. Didn't care to do any research on what I was talking about. Just came at me. So, what do you want from me? But I'll make up with her if she cares, but she doesn't. Why would she? But I'm like, I don't, maybe I'm missing, I'm always open-minded. Maybe you guys know that if you watch the show, maybe I'm missing part of her discussion point that makes me go, you know what? It's a good point. We don't agree on a lot of things, Dark, but that's a good point. But I don't know. I do know this. We're wrapping it, boys and ladies. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the company. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I will be back, maybe even late tonight streaming games, but I will be back for sure with the Gabbin Games tomorrow, actually, because I have one all lined up and ready to go. And I hope to see you there. Meantime, be safe out there, be well, and see you soon. Good to see you guys. Bye.